Hey guys, sorry if you hear some noise. My wife's just finishing. Be early by a whole minute. No, no, no. Uh, my wife's finishing up laundry in the background. I was just sorry. I'm trying to do two things at once. I'm texting with Jeff over tough knives. Has anyone tried to donate to the GoFundMe and not been able to? Because he said that he had messages saying that people couldn't donate. He texted me. He was like, "Everything okay?" I got messages saying they couldn't donate. So I don't know if anyone has had issues with that. So I know a lot of people have, and guys, I appreciate it. So 7 people here. I didn't tell you guys what happened yet. You wish you had a mug, don't you? You wish you had one of these. You wish you had a crazy sharp coffee cup. But you don't. So live with it. Should have bought them when they were available. What's up, 2A Dave? So I did the video about this. This was the video that went up today. I shot that video. I was talking about it on John's podcast or John's live feed yesterday. I shot like 5 videos yesterday. Got 3 of them. It's not NASCAR. I don't watch NAPCAR. This is Oval Nationals. It's the Oval Nationals, 50th anniversary Oval Nationals. That's dirt track racing. Sprint cars, dirt track sprint cars, wingless sprints to be precise, USAC CRA. So anyway, I shot the video, I did it, and Jared goes and comments on that video, and he's like, "Good, enjoy your knife. This is now mine, so I don't have to worry about sending this back." This thing is retarded sharp. Like, it is so thin and so slicey and so pointy and so pretty. So, yeah, I don't know who all's here. Nice. Are you guys dropping likes? I can't see the likes. I suppose I should turn my phone all the way down and pull it up so I can keep an eye on things like that. But I never do. Jared, I was talking with Jared. He might stop by. I told him I would send him a link. That's very nice, Jared. He's a cool guy. Shame the live stream was all his live stream was all suck, and I had to thumbs down tonight. Yeah, I saw that. You know what? Here's the thing. Jared and I both agree about this knife, which is a common thing. There are so many things that are so just the run of the mill. You see them all the time, like that TRM Shadow. Like I said, it is so similar to 2 other knives. It's like a bastard love child of a Spyderco Shaman and a Benchmade 940. This is ding ding. This is so, it's more unique. It's got a really unique look to it. It's got a unique feel to it, but it's still super, super functional. Yeah, Jared usually runs a little bit late. He doesn't know when to shut up. Guys, yes, the beard is coming back, but this time I've noticed that my beard is growing so slow. Back in the day, like this would have been like 2 days and the beard would be back. It'd be like this, like 2 or 3 days. This running on a while. I need to turn that down. I already have enough extra belly. Thank you. Oh, no sugar, Turkish. I'm sweet enough. I really like it. I like recurves if they're done really well. This, I was afraid when I saw pictures of it. I was afraid when I saw pictures of it, and he said he was going to send me one to review. I was afraid it was going to be kind of thick because it's not a broad blade. So a lot of times the narrow blade, you don't get that transition down to the apex. Well, they definitely did that well on this knife. It's ground really well, really thin. As you can see, it comes down to next to nothing. So needs to try out bugs on screen. So only 7 people. I know Jared's still live, so I imagine he'll be bringing over the crew when he comes. What's everybody carrying? Oh, hang on a second. I forgot something. I'll be right back. I forgot something. Got it. I'm coming back, guys. I'm coming back. This is what I told John to do yesterday. That grateful panic. I told him he should just start a live feed and then just walk away. See how many people keep watching. Let's see. Oh, I was gonna get guys. Olight. If you guys need a flashlight, I don't mention enough. I have affiliate links for it down below. These are probably some of the best lights I've had. I love the Olights. I've had people say, oh, I don't trust them and this and that. They had one problem with their QA stuff where they were kind of getting, they had some issues, but I have had zero. I've had zero issues with any of the Olights they've sent me. And so if you guys are in the market to get a flashlight, use my Olight affiliate link and go get one. I know they're having an August sale. Aiden, I saw that you ooh, there we go. Me messing with the mouse again. Where's he at? Aiden, I saw that you donated to the GoFundMe. Thank you. I don't know who all has donated because I don't know everybody's names, but I did see Aiden's name on the list of people that donated to the GoFundMe. Really the only thing I have left for me as the organizer of it is I got to get the bank account information from Jeff over at Tough Knives so that he can actually take the money out. Somebody was like, oh, well, I've had a lot of people say, oh, you organized it, so you're going to have to take the money out and this and that. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, because I would get taxed on it for, whatever it is. If it is a large amount, I don't want to have anything to do with that. What I want to do is set it up so that it goes directly to his bank account. So that's the last step. That's the only thing I'm waiting for. I'm still going to share it and stuff, but like I said, the last step is for him to send me that bank account information so that I can just have it go directly to his account. I wanted to get one of those those little like nightlight things from Olight. I wanted to get one, but the last time I looked, they were sold out. But I don't look very often, to tell you the truth. So I've had one O-bulb out of 12 or 15 arrive DOA. I've never had one. Say what? It's already up. It's already up. It's on Artisan and it's on. Let me make sure. I'm 90% sure that Artisan Cazador is already up. Let me see. Artisan Cazador is on Blade HQ. It's on Artisan Cutlery. It is on White Mountain Knives. And I think that's it right now. So it's on there. I mean, they're already up. There's a green micarta version on Blade HQ. So the Neves flood is coming. So I've got some stuff that typically is not stuff that I show you guys that I do carry. I have a little pry bar. I have my flashlight, but a lot of times by the time you guys are hanging out with me, I'm already pretty much done for the day. And I've only got just what's in my, I forgot my cowbell. In case, what's up, Marco? I forgot my cowbell in case somebody drops super chat. Let me go get that. I'll be right back. I'm coming right back. Got my cowbell. Jim K. I actually sent an email to a guy the other day. You guys are going to kick out of this. It's the guy that did the leather sheaths for a couple of knives for me. And his name is Mr. Mackey. And his name is Mackey. And then not Mackey Custom Leather that you see on Instagram. It's a different guy, because Mackey Custom Leather on Instagram is a different person. But at any rate, so I was sending a message to him and the customer, because I was sending the knife to Mr. Mackey. See, I went and got that for a reason. So I went and I sent the message off, and I was like, Mr. Mackey, did you get the message? And it was so hard for me to get at the end of it. Did you get the package? Because I was sending it to him, and then he's going to send it to the customer. And so it was Murky. So Murky bought a knife, and I was sending it. And at the end of the message, I almost stopped. Okay. Mr. Mackey, did you get that knife? Okay. Hit the like button or hit the dislike button. I really don't care. Here's another one for you, Mark. Another ding, ding, ding. Oh, you know what I just remembered I did? Because I am a forward-thinking individual. I put beer in a cooler and put it out here. Yes, Murky, I was absolutely referring to you. You know what I forgot to do, guys? I forgot to do this. There you go. DCS. What's up, Carlos? Hey, I wanted to talk to you. Have you? I need to get with you again, and I meant to DM you 2 days ago about your buddy that needed the razors sharpened for the razors, because I've got everything. I've got all my razor stuff set. I've basically been telling people I did a bunch of I did a bunch of straight razors for a guy here just recently, and I basically been telling people I'm not doing 12,000 grit edges because I've done a few straight razors and there's more coming in, and to flatten those stones just eats away. Called the Razor Company. Yeah, I really want to open a dialogue because I don't have a problem doing that for him. And I basically can eyeball a razor and see if it's going to be worth it, or if it's something he needs to return to the company. Because sometimes even like the nice ones, like those Thisser S-Sards, they come with some problems with the grind that's going to make the hand sharpening crazy expensive and things like that. So I used to do it for the Art of Shaving here in San Diego. Like I would go there and I would like go through their inventory. I was like, that one needs to go back. That one needs to go back. That one needs to go back. These people are going to have a hard time with this, just by eyeballing it and seeing if it had a frown or a smile. And it saves them money in the long run, because then they're not having someone bring something in and use it and then have to spend, the refund and give them another item. And then they're out that because it's used. And so basically it saves them the problem. If they send me the stuff, I can eyeball it and say, these all need to go back to the company. I ate a cap. Great. I'm pretty sure that Marco's going to spend a good bit of tonight in timeout because Marco ate a cap. Way to go. Well, and if it's something that somebody tried to sharpen and then realized they couldn't, they're going to run into that problem. I think there's only 2 of these out there. There was a guy on Instagram that bought one Just leaving Murky sitting there. I don't even notice. Cheers. I'll tell you a story about that one time towards the end of the video. Remind me about the mushrooms in Bali story. We'll tell that story tonight if you guys want. You just have to remind me. It's dark out, but I'm going to leave my garage door open because it's still 79 degrees in the garage. What you drinking, Mike? Right now, coffee. Because I don't want to repeat of the other night's live feed where I just sat here and it was not entertaining and I was just boring. Yeah, I don't want that. Guys, I shot a video today that you guys are going to see next week. Shot it and edited it. It's 5 fast. Well, if you're a paying member, you can see that ahead of time. Crackhead move. No, yeah, she. I don't think I'll see her tonight. But I mean, I have Old Faithful here sitting just in case I have to punch a hole in her breadbasket. What are we talking about? What you drinking, Mike? Nice. Let's see here, everyone. Please remember to hit that. Thank you, Monster. Don't forget, guys, like I said, I'm going to mention a bunch because people are in and out. Don't forget the GoFundMe that's going on for Jeff over at Tough Knives. And until 4:30 tomorrow, he has a Herman custom that he is auctioning off. Right now, the top bid is 900. No. Bali, the women were women. Thailand is where you got to be careful, where the women aren't women. And possibly the 4 floors in Singapore. You got to be careful down on what is that? I can't remember that. Orchard, something like that. I can't remember. The 4 floors of the W word for women, sex workers, for the chicks that currently work on OnlyFans. I just realized. Okay, I wondered when someone was finally going to realize that this is like watching Wayne's World. I have other chairs and stuff, and I could have easily done that. And I was like, this is just about perfect. That's what I wanted. My buddy Peter has a funny Singapore story. I have several. So I had watched Wayne's World. I was already in the Navy when Wayne's World came out. I bought it on VHS. I came home. God, was I already in the Navy? I can't remember if I was already. At any rate, my sister and I were watching a VHS copy of Wayne's World. My father just didn't want to have anything to do with the movie. And he's just sitting there and he's like, I can't believe you're watching this. And I'm like, you like to watch Strange Brew with the McKenzie brothers. I don't want to hear a lot. And so, so it gets to the scene where they're playing hockey in the street and Wayne's ex-girlfriend comes by. She's like, hi, Wayne. Hi. And then bang, she hits the car. And that's my dad's doing this. He's like, he's drinking coffee and all of a sudden we're watching it in the morning. He's like, God damn it, I got coffee on me. I was like, all right, that was a funny scene. To make my dad do a spit take, it was funny. Oh, dear Shane, I don't know. Am I going to SHOT Show? I do not know. The deal is, if I go to SHOT Show, it's going to be with Artisan, and I have not heard anything from them. I am going to Blade West, but I don't know about SHOT Show. So I doubt it. If I haven't heard anything by now, I doubt it. Kind of frustrated right now with them as well, so I don't want to really talk about it too much. Michael Morgan says refusing to go to the gym is a form of resistance training. You are absolutely right. Is Jared still live or is he not coming? I wanted to thank him again for this. Like, say it verbally. I really like this knife. Okay, so it's been up in the air. I really don't know if they've announced dates yet. Has Blade ever done TC before? Will 2022 be? I don't even know what TC is. .905 freeway was right over there. What's TC? I don't even know what. Oh, Texas. I give you a pass because C and X are really close together on the keyboard. Kira has him in a tournament on Call of Duty for 20 minutes. Cool. I might play video games. I drank a whole French press full of coffee before this, so there's a good chance I'm gonna stay up tonight. He's got a unicorn right there. She's like, all right, you can't go do anything until you play video games for a little bit. That's like Richie, right? Like Richie has no idea how lucky he is. So Lindy loves knives. I mean, that's one of those unicorns right there. It would be be a very expensive endeavor if my wife liked knives too. Because I stopped buying even affordable knives a while ago. like my last purchase was this, and I actually did. Okay, I can't tell my wife this. This is like Demolition Ranch. Don't tell Mare. Don't tell Yuka. I bought a knife today, specifically for 2 reasons. 1, I've always wanted it, and 2, I'm probably going to use the shit out of it and give it to you guys. Don't tell Mare. Hashtag don't tell Mare. I'll let you guys know when it gets here. This was something that I got from blame it on PDM. I mean, shit. We're the same person. His hat's right there. Hand-me-downs again, Muke. Rich is the reason I'm in debt right now. Lindy's here. But yeah, I was looking and I saw a picture of it and I was like, oh, shit, I forgot about those. So, Ken, your knives are done, by the way. Hang on a second, Ken. I got something to show you. That is an attractive edge on your quiet carry. It's fascinating. It's like the sun. So this thing is really, I like this knife. I have loved the Waypoint. I like the quiet carry Waypoint. I'm not such a big fan of the Drift or any other others, but so the deal is I'm going to get these packed up tomorrow. I have a couple other ones that I need to get packed up. So I'm going to pack your stuff up and get these other knives packed up and get them out on Friday. Tomorrow I have daddy-daughter stuff I have to do. I have to take my daughter skating. I have to run to Costco and get stuff. Like Costco's like the Costco I have to go to is the only one that has my dog food, the one that doesn't give her food allergies, which means I have to drive like 40 fucking miles. So I'm driving 80 miles today. So drop my daughter off the ice rink and then drive past that to go up to the other place, the Costco. Yeah, these are really sharp. I think there was one in there that was I won't tell whoever we shouldn't tell if you tell Nevi he's sexy when he gets here without explaining why you called him that. Okay. I mean, it's not like you can tell my wife anyway. Your chat is lagging? Not the video, but the chat? What? Oh, yeah. I see it now. Just, it's coming in clumps. Which Viper? So Murky bought the fine stonewash, the fine tumble one that I had done. I still have one that's a satin one. I would say I'm going to recommend to anybody that the leather is probably going to be the better choice. Man, I do like these. But I'm not streaming from YouTube. I'm streaming from my podcast software model. This is the Waypoint, the Quiet Carry Waypoint. I think it's just that, I think that finger trail is just perfect. That I think is what does it. It's just really, 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 really comfortable. So what do we got going on here? Let me put this back. I want to put this back with the rest of the stuff. I'll be right back. What model Viper? My Viper. Viper neck knife. That's the only one I do. There's only one. It's that little Kiridashi neck knife that I make. So, K Mason. Somebody's got to have a useful question. Or not a podcast. Friday, guys. Friday, we have Nick Shabazz, and it's going to run a little early. So those of you on the East Coast might actually like that a little bit more. We're going to go at 5 p.m. again this Friday, just like we did with Jim Skelton. Wow. Okay, Mason. Okay. Jim K. Jim, so all those knives went out except for the one for Alex, which is still here, and I have it set aside. He's going to get it when he comes back from his deployment to the Middle East. So, and he's in Bahrain, so at least we know that the government's going to make sure he gets out. That's all I got. Oh, I see what you're saying there, Monster Racing. I gotcha. I didn't know it was called the Viper. I saw one. Looked sweet. Great purchase. Yeah, they're nice. What's this? I'm waiting for someone to troll Mike about some D2. I told you in the video that I did. I did the video about the Ontario Rat 1. The Ontario Rat 1. And that was a D2 blade. And I said, you know, I coated it because can I make a knife rust? Can you make a shoe smell? Yeah, absolutely. Can I make D2 rust? Yeah, it's bad. I can make 20 CV and some I've made steels. People are like, oh, it doesn't rust. And I'm like, really? Check this out. And they're like, how? I'm like, it's a big sweaty dude. Actually, I'm not that sweaty either. I feel like you should get a Z Hunter to tempt Nick Shabazz. No, I have an M-Tech on my counter now, thanks to Beardo the Weirdo. I now have an M-Tech, so I have my own metric by which to judge shit knives. Have you had any dealings with 10CR that Civivi is using now? I have not. I'm interested in it. Why Why am I getting an? Oh, I know why. It's time to hit that hour-long. I have a. Don't tempt Batman. I'm Batman. No, you're not. You're Nick Shabazz. What's up, Brant? Hang on a second. I have a timer set for every hour for my free Bitcoin faucet. Repeat. Was that how much? Wait. How much better is D2 at a custom level versus mass heat treated? I have no idea. I've never seen anyone make a custom knife in D2. I don't think they do it. I really don't know. So I couldn't tell you. Splash that like button. Yes, please smash that like button. So, what was that? I've started selling off my good chunk of my knives so I can buy my first Zan or something above my usual price point. Didn't MTech make those Batman type knives a long time ago? No, I don't know who did, but you know they didn't, because MTech is Emerson's budget line. I'm sorry. You guys want to see? You guys want to see the MTech? Let me go get it. I can go get it. Let's see here. What was this? Michael, I've had some great production D2. It's just a crapshoot. I've never had bad D2. I never have. I just make it rust. That's been my only thing with D2. Every D2 knife I've ever had has been great. It's just I make them rust, like to the point where if you watch the video about the Ontario Rat 1, like pitting. Like I actually can get them pitting, and I'm like, I can't do it. That's why when I get that QSP Penguin, one of the first things I did before it even started to take a patina was I blasted it and put ceramic on it so that it was coated. M4 rusts a little bit. I've never had M4 rust as badly as 3V. I can leave fingerprints on 3V like that. The question is, have you ever had a good MTech? I don't know, but let's go get it. Let's go get it, and you can see what someone decided to send me as a joke. And then I also have something I was going to announce. I'm going to grab it out of the thing here. Hang on, I'm coming back. I'm going to give you guys a little bit more incentive to become paying members. So it depends on what the S word is, Marco. There's a lot of S words. If you're saying just one S word, I'm not sure. So at any rate, I got this beautiful, looks like an old knockoff Adidas shoe here. It's a button lock that barely flips, and it is a USA design, made in China. I mean, that's pretty much most knives these days. But if you look, it says specifically that it is stainless steel. It doesn't say what kind of stainless steel, and it's a button lock. And it almost got it. Like it almost. Oh, hey, buddy. Guys, Somnium's here. Go check out his channel. The videos are amazing. I watch your channel pretty regular, bro. S is for Somnium. Yeah, go check out his channel. He's got a lot of good videos on there. Just the editing and everything. It's just fucking amazing. And yes, you can say shit on here. I All right, so here's the deal. I have all 3 versions of the triple action. Now, Beardo the Weirdo wants to purchase one. So whatever the one I'm selling to him will be whichever one of these 2 he wants. The other one will go to whoever my 50th paying member is. We're at 39 right now. That's 11 away. We won't even do a drawing. Whoever just happens to be number 50 paying members will be the winner of one of these 2. So one of them I'm selling, one of them I'm keeping, one of them I'm going to give away. These things are $350 on the secondary market. Even when they're not in great shape, I still have the boxes for mine. So that would be something cool. You know, these were, which one's this? Mine are in pretty good shape. So the, what was that? Spear point to what happened to be my number. Like, because I want it. I'm not giving away the spear point. The double-edged one, that one's mine. I'm keeping that one. These are the 2 Tontos. One is the Tonto with serrated, and one is the Tonto plain. Like I said, Mike, what knife was your first issue? My first military issued knife, I think well, it wasn't even issued to me. It was given to me by a guy in deck department. It was one of the rigger's knives, like the sailor's knives. It was a Camelus with the sheep's foot blade and the marlin spike, and it was given to me by the guy that was in deck department with me. The first knife I was ever issued was a Gerber Gator. That was the first knife I was issued. That was in the Navy stock system. That was the first knife I was ever issued. It was on my first boat. They started issuing them out. And so no, why do I have 40 people here. I think I only have like 6 moderators total. They're just, so where's what are we talking about? Ken, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what we're talking about. At any rate, so the first knife I was issued, yeah, it was a Gerber Gator with the rubberized grips, and I got. We don't talk about. That's not what we're going to talk about here. This is not a Chicago 23. That's not what this channel is for. You guys want to talk about that? Find my my full30.com channel or go to a 2A channel. I don't even want to have it in here. It gets to going, and then the stuff gets flagged. So these were both made in Japan. All of the triple actions were made in Japan. So no pew-pews, no politics, no current events. This is a place to get away from all that stuff. That's what this channel's for. I see enough of that in my daily. I don't need to see it in my comments section and stuff like that. So I don't want to talk about it. Like, I've done videos about it on my full30.com channel. I watch videos about it and stay current, but I don't. No, Ken, and I don't want to talk about that either. So yes, I don't remember the steel, but the Gator was definitely a lockback, and it had the rubberized grips. And on the ship, we had so much stuff that we dealt with, that I got some sort of solvent on it, and it melted the rubberized handles. And I went to go get, I was like, I got like paint thinner or some sort of solvent on it. And I was like, and they're like, well, it's too bad. We issued you one. It's yours to take care of. And I was like, so what? And they're like, go to the ship store and buy your own knife. We gave you one. And I was like, yeah, but I got it ruined. And Marco, if you've got a problem with it, you can leave. You know what, Marco? I like you, but I've had enough. I'm not dealing with it every time you come on here. You're an issue. So I'm sorry. I'm done with it. Every time you come on, it's an issue. So done with it. I don't want to have to babysit my comment section because somebody doesn't know how to be nice. So that was it. I blocked Marco. It's done. So, yeah, Monster Racing, there's the GoFundMe. So I started a GoFundMe for Jeff over at Tough Thumbs. His entire shop got flooded out from ceiling to floor. And it was, it just was, devastating. I mean, I imagine that hello, Shop Cat. I would imagine that just the mill, he's got like probably at least, just in a mill. Can you imagine how much a mill costs? Just getting it cleaned up and everything. He's got several $1,000s in damage just to the mill. So Shop Cat just went right in the house to go see my wife. So, and then the house damage and stuff. Like, can you imagine? Like, I know he rents. I believe he rents, but still, like, the stuff, their personal stuff that was damaged. Have I ever made or handled an obsidian knife? Ken Wong. Good question. I actually, hang on a second. Sorry, I can't answer your question in a second. That was an accident. My wife's going to complain about that, but I tell her every time I do that, it's because one of you guys gave me money. I guarantee she'll shut up about it. Have I ever handled a knife made or made a knife in obsidian? I've never made a knife in obsidian. I have knapped flint. I learned how to do it. I'm not good at it. It's not like I ever do a good job of it, but I will tell you that I have handled obsidian knives and they are ridiculously sharp, like ridiculously sharp. And I read the science on it. And it's because of the structure of the glass and where it shears. You can actually get it an edge that's way thinner than what you could get on steel because of the molecular structure of steel and the molecules being larger. It's the same thing with like SM100. It's a smaller molecular structure, so therefore you can get it thinner at the edge. And they are way sharper than anything I've ever dealt with. I'm going to lie to you. This is pretty freaking sharp. So, guys, I don't like blocking people. That makes me feel bad. I really did enjoy, he had made some really, really nice comments on some of my videos. And I was appreciative of them. And then it all started like, here we go, you salesman. And the censorship stuff. So, yeah, it would. Shop NACO shirts. I can't wait to rock some Shop NACO shirts at work while welding. Okay, well, here's the deal. Bland Gamer, give me a second. I'll pull that one up. I'll think about it. So with the shirts, I really don't I can't, like, I can make recommendations. Like I say, I want these things, but I don't know. The fact is, if you guys are going to buy them, I would probably have to wind up doing a pre-order. Like, I would have to have a certain number of orders for him to do something like that for me. I can't afford to do the starter pack with things. So it's, I don't know. I'll talk to him and see what he says, but I don't have high hopes that I'll be able to get Shop NACO shirts made. So at any rate, so Bland Gamers, Mike, do you have any recommendations under 3-inch in the 200 to 300? I don't have many knives that are that size. Most of my knives are at least 3.25. I don't have much in that size range. So, yeah, I was going to say the issue with an Obsidian knife is, well, everything other than the fact it's really sharp, because the first time you use it, it's going to chip. If you think S30V is chippy, try Obsidian. That's what I'm afraid of with that. That's one of the ones I was thinking with the Black Void Opus, that Linquist. It's not real big. I really don't have many recommendations for you in that size range. Hang on a second. Let me grab my case. I have a knife that's kind of in that size range, but you're not going to be able to find one because, well, they don't make them anymore. Sub 3-inch, I really don't have much of anything. I think closest I have to something I really would recommend would be the Farron Forge NTAC, and as much as I love it, it's pretty thick. I measured it today just out of curiosity, and it's like 0.32 behind the edge on this. So it's a thick boy. So I don't, that would be the one I would recommend. I think this is right at 3, if I remember. But what's the matter? What's the matter, buddy? He likes the footstool. He likes to sit on the footstool. So thick. Yeah. I most of my knives are like 4-inch, 3.5 to 4 inch. I think this was a 3.5. The Farron Forge Gent. This is another one I recommend. It's on the wow, that is so thin behind the edge and sharp. This is another one of those knives that I recommend. Wow, clear up on the wow. Here, check this out, guys. So he jumped from the footstool up onto my bar stool. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. What are you doing? So look, guys, there's the old school crazy sharp shirt. This reverse thing is better. There's the old school crazy sharp shirts. I started to do that merch, and I really, the reason I'm saying about I don't know about even doing anything with the shop cat shirts. I did those shirts, and it was so. Remember to donate to what? The GoFundMe? Ken, I don't know which we're talking about. If you're talking about the GoFundMe, no, you can just go. The GoFundMe is in the description below. You can just follow the link and actually just donate to the GoFundMe for Jeff. If you, I don't know what we're donating to, Ken. I honestly don't. If you want to be a member, you can become a member, and that's how you like. Whoever my 50th member is going to win whatever these are. Oh, no, you don't have to. That's just a super chat. That's just a super chat, Ken. If you just want to drop like a couple bucks in a video, and I ring the bell, that's just a super chat or a super sticker. That's all that is. What was this? Josh Worth says, I don't know people on Instagram. I do. There's a link in the description as well. Monster, thank you. There's a link in the description. Like all you have to do is just scroll down into the description and you see the GoFundMe that's in there. You need plain black hoodies with your crazy sharp logo. Funny that you mentioned that. Those are coming. They're just waiting on the sweatshirts to show up. I have the pullovers I only want pullovers. I don't want zip ups. The pullovers are going to be cool. I don't want the zipper to bifurcate. That's a fancy word for y'all. That means to cut it in half. The logo. Yeah, I thought he was too at first. Would you get down before you fall? Yuka, come look at the cat. So, what's the status on the one chip humility? I mean, the one chip challenge for your daughter's ice skating. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I have had heartburn. I've had heartburn since Nico came Saturday. And I didn't eat anything spicy. So my doctor's recommending against it. I think I'm still going to do it. I take ulcer medication, but he's like, I don't think you should do that. He watches my channel. By the way, my doctor's like, that's not a good idea. My doctor follows my YouTube channel. He refuses to. I told him, I said, you should drop a chat about the stupid things that I do. But he's saying, like, I don't think that's a good idea. Like, you're going to wind up in the emergency room. And I was like, no, I think I'll be okay. And he says, listen, and then Nico came and he brought me a can of mead and I drank it and I have had heartburn since Saturday. Like literally. I mean, the first, well, I'm sorry, since Sunday when he left, I drank it. And I mean, like, Alka-Seltzer won't even put a dent in it. So I would love to do it, but have the event and let's not make Mike eat the chip. Mead is really good. Drink a bottle of Pepto to coat your stomach 20 minutes before you do it. I don't know if that's even going to work. I literally have had heartburn on and off for the last couple of weeks. And then like I drank that can of mead. Nico brought stuff. We drank some mead on. Greg is back. Greg Gutfield, I love your show on Fox. You are hilarious. So yeah, I don't know. I'm tempted. I want to do it. No, that's not Marco. That's Greg. Yeah, I got Greg Gutfield in here. Aren't you hosting the 5 right now? Greg Gutfield's hilarious. I don't care if you don't like Fox News. I don't care if you are Republican, Democrat. I don't care. Greg Gutfield on Fox News is hilarious. Like his monologue. I don't watch like the actual show. I don't trust any like mainstream media at all. I just do my own research and find stuff. It's funny just to watch his monologues. Was this? No. This hillbilly is tilting colors in front of us is part of the fun. It won't kill him, monster. The faces his making friends. I just don't. Can you imagine if it actually was Greg Gutfield? Wouldn't surprise me. I've had fucking weirder people pop into my. I've had weirder people pop into my live feeds, like a guy that does rap videos. Basically, I'm like, where'd this come from? Sorry, Somnion. Just kind of out of the unusual and out of the norm for my channel. Giant Mouse Ace Bilbo Sub 3 Vox Nesses. I've spent the night in county lockup a few times. It's not been an unusual thing for me. It just has not happened for a long time. Bilbo Baggins. We all take screenshots for those commemorative shirts. You gotta wear them at my funeral. Grateful Panic had an old porn guy in a live stream one time. I had someone, I forget who it was. I had someone and they told me they told me who they were and I didn't believe them. And then they sent me they contacted me from like their official Twitter and I'm like, holy shit. I forget who it was. I think it was, if I remember right, it was one of the older porn stars. That's outrageous. I would unequivocally die if I tried to consume anywhere in the realm quantity of wings. I don't understand. I missed something somewhere. Shan Gables. I won a wing eating contest. That was a good diet. 72 wings in 14 minutes. I did the. Do you guys remember Man vs. Food? I did the Quaker Steak and Lube suicide wings challenge when I was in Pittsburgh. When I was in Pennsylvania one time, and I did it. And it's like 7 wings, and you get like 10 minutes. And I ate. They were so spicy. Like, I honestly felt like I'd gotten hit in the face with a burning tire. Like, all of this just, but I finished it and I was like, I wish I hadn't done that. Like, getting the free meal for all of us at the table, it wasn't even worth it. I was like, I was miserable. Like, we got done and they were like, how was it? I was like, it's still bad. It's still bad. It's so bad. Like, from the bottom of my nose to the bottom of my chin, from fucking here to here, was just bad. Quaker Steak. It's Quaker Steak Bar and Grill. I forget. It was Quaker Steak. Yeah, it was bad. Hotter than one chip. It was hotter than the 2019 one chip because they use what do they use? They use capsaicin extract, basically just the hot stuff. No, it was just painful. I couldn't even taste it. Like, the first bite, like, my mouth went numb. Quaker Steak and Lube, yeah. What are we talking about? Do I know the date for what, Cue Ball? What are we talking about? Oh, anyone else waiting for the F? Okay, I see. Quaker Steak and Lube. Yeah, Quaker Steak and Lube. And it was nasty. And I think when I went, it was just, I don't know if it was even ghost chili extract that they put in. It was bad. Any way you look at it, it was bad. It was horrible. And I'm growing some hot peppers. The neighbor lately made us some actual picante hot sauce, tomatoes and chilies and a little bit of salt. And we had burritos when Nico and Bridget were here, and it was delicious. And it had a kick, but it wasn't like super, super hot. I mean, yeah, sure, you could send me some if you want, Murky. I've eaten the ghost chili and I did not enjoy it. Was this finally scored one of the Fair and Forge Archbishop's 2.0 made by Wee. Been looking for one for a while. It's on its way to Knife Modders for a refresh. Those are good knives. BW, howdy. Oh, hang on. I forgot to do this. I have a new. Oh, hey, Jack. Jack's here. Jack just dumped some cash. Sweetness. Alec Klemlark is now my newest paying member. He joined the other day. I didn't notice it until later, and then I did. I updated the. What is it? The text crawl at the end. So don't y'all, like, you hear it like, you always wait for the crunch and you're like, come on, where's the crunch? I know they hit, but they didn't hit. So great job, everyone that has donated to Mike's live stream. Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Because like I said, this is what I do for a living now. And I'm no good at it. Hey, this is what you do for a living, and you do it, and you're with the laundry. I'm like, yep, that's what I do. Nice. Looking forward to this one. What? There's the street is right behind my house, and there's a stoplight. Like, there is literally a stoplight, like, right above. Like, if you go out in my yard, and then there's a wall, and then you go up, there's a sidewalk and there's a stoplight right there. I can literally see the stoplight out my kitchen window from where I sit here. And there's always some of those. Aiden says we're getting close to that 50, Mike. We're at 39 paying members. And like I said, we hit 50. Whoever number 50 is gets, hey, cue ball. Whoever number 50 is gets a, well, hang on just a second, cue ball. Holy crap. Where's my thing? Thank you very much, cue ball. Mike, high five. So that forgot what I was saying completely. Oh, yeah. So whoever lucky number 50 is, whoever the 50th paying member is, and it does not matter what tier you are, whoever number 50 is wins one of these. One of these is going to be sold, and the other one is going to be given away to number 50. And these are the pretty rare triple action folders from Cold Steel with the box. Now, this one, this Tonto serrated one, is, no, that's the plain. Is it? Oh, no, this is the Tonto serrated. I mean, they're all in really good shape. I take care of my stuff, and so does Tino. So I don't know. It just depends which one of these Beardo the Weirdo wants to buy, and which one. So whichever one that is, the double-edged one, I'm definitely keeping. My bell sent a Navy. It's not a bell, actually. It's a thermos. It just does sound a lot like a bell. I like it. Where do you scoop those up? Okay, so I was part of a consumer products test group at one point, and I got a bunch of Cold Steel knives in for free. And all I had to do was fill out this thing. Some stuff I had to send back, some stuff I got to keep. I'm still part of it. Like, I can still request things if they're available, and I get a certain number of products every year. You've heard me talk about getting free stuff before. I actually got a carpet cleaner for free. All I had to do was pay shipping. It was a refurbished one, but so they sent me these. They sent me one of each. They sent me one of the Tonto plane and one of the double-edged plane. And all I had to do was I carried them, I tested them, and I filled out this. I mean, it was a big, long packet. Like, it literally took days. And so I did them both. And then I was expecting to have to send those back. And they were like, no, those items are for you. You keep them. And so I kept both of those. And then Tino asked me if I wanted the serrated version of it as well. So I had the full set. And then I sold them all to a guy. And then he just couldn't get them cleared to go into his home country because he's in Europe. He's like, yeah, I couldn't get the customs clearance for it. So he's like, just send everything else. He's like, you just keep those. And I was like, you don't want the money back? He says, no, you just keep them. 2A Dave, is that part of a media group? I forget. So it was a thing where you got, like, people could invite certain people. So you can invite a certain, like, every year you got a chance to invite like 3 people. And so my buddy invited me, and then I invited a couple people, and I haven't gotten a chance to invite anyone for a long time. Like, usually we get a notification, is there anyone you want to invite, and things like that via email. And then it was the that was basically it. So they'd send you that stuff, and then you could keep. I had like 3 different printers that came in, and things like that. And so you get them in, and then you fill out the big packet of like all the things you did and how you used it. Like for the carpet cleaner, I got it, and I had to use it for a certain number of hours. And I had to track, and I had to send photos and all that. It was all electronic that time. But it used to come, like, this was back in, this was 2007, 2008 timeframe. And so they would just send it to you, and then you basically got a packet of stuff with it, and you filled that out, and then they would tell you if you had to send the item back or not. Yes, he's gone. I couldn't. I don't want to have to babysit my it takes any fun out of it if I have to babysit my comments section, and it takes any fun out of it for the moderators as well. And that's not what this is about. It's about fun. It's about fun. It's not about politics. It's about knives and fun. It's not about politics and firearms. So, we would get new cereals to review. Only time we had cereal. We always had cereal. That cat is up on my stool, like just up there. You're gonna fall. That's not a real stable stool to begin with, and then that new cushion slides around a lot. He's gonna fall. You guys are gonna hear it. Yeah, that's when I got it. It was the year it released. I got it the year it released. Oh, so yeah, Sierra_Bound is doing an auction of a Herman knife for anybody that donated, or for all the money. Okay, let me get this straight, Mike. Come on, dial your brain in. He's giving away a knife to anyone that donated at least $5 to the GoFundMe for Jeff over at Tough Thumbs, and that is I forget which one it is. It's a Monterey Bay Knives that he's giving away. So that's if anybody that donated the $5 and then they go in and they comment on that giveaway, as long as they gave $5 to the GoFundMe for Jeff, they're eligible. And then he's doing an auction so that he's doing an auction. Everybody's putting in a bid, and then they're going to do the actual closeout on it tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific. And whoever said that they were going to give the most then would just donate that directly to the GoFundMe. I have to keep an eye on the GoFundMe at 4 p.m. tomorrow so that I can make sure that whoever actually picked it up donated the money, and then he's going to give it to that person. So the instructions are all of that. They're all in there, and it's basically you just go in and say that you donated, and you'll be eligible. So snuzz happiness is chilling on a bar stool. That's why they put them in bars. Little side note: when I start drinking, and I've gotten to a point where I can feel. Oh, yeah, I told you you're going to fall, dummy. Almost fell. When I reach the point where I start to feel tipsy, I get rid of my bar stool and I stand, because if you're drinking and you're sitting, when you get ready to stand up, you're going to find out that your legs don't work. So DTom 420, it is on Sierra_Bound on Instagram. There's also, I basically put it in my story as well. So if you find me on Instagram, it's in my story. So basically, if you win the auction, you have to pay for it by just giving that amount of money to, oh yeah, there you go, Monster, thanks. You basically are just donating that amount. Like I think right now, $900 for that custom is the leading bid. So wow, I thought I just got a real big push of cold air come through. I think it's getting ready to rain. Yeah, I was talking about that. So if you go, Somni, if you go to the live feed I did on Monday, I mentioned that he was in the live feed with me. We were talking back and forth, and I was like, hey, guy that I know just purchased a knife from you, I believe. And you apologized for being a couple days late on the shipping by sending him some cash. And he was like, yep. And I was like, that's class right there, man. That's some class act right there. I don't do that. I'm behind on sending stuff out. And I just apologize ahead of time saying, hey, life happens. I've got knives that I was supposed to ship out a couple days ago. So, well, like I said, if you donate, you and then go to the giveaway one as well. That what was it? The Monterey Bay Knives one. You can basically get entered to both. So put in a bid and donate $5 to the GoFundMe, and then you're in on the giveaway one too. So Scott seems like a really nice guy. Scott on camera though seems like me when I first started my YouTube channel, because I was like, just like, I didn't know how to like talk to the camera and stuff like that, and actually have a conversation with myself. That's one of the weirdest things. Like, people are like, oh, I could do a YouTube channel. And like, really? And then they start and they're like, this was really awkward. I'm talking to myself. And I'm like, yeah. Jumping in for 15 minutes. You want to come up on screen, Jared? I can send you a link. I haven't seen Casper either. You come up. If you don't want to, that's fine. You can just stay in the comments section. All right, cool. I'm sending it to you right now. I'm gonna send you the invite, Gmail. All right, you're gonna sit down there now. Come on, no, I don't want you up here. You always mess with my. All right, come on. All right, bud. Not all the way up in my lap. Come on now. There, to you too. Hey. Buddy. I just sent it, Jared. Come on. Sharp cat. Sharp Kurt. Big guy. Yeah, hey. Those are sharp. Hey, your claws are sharp, bud. Jared, it's always a great guest. Yes, unfortunately, I'm not always a good host. So, hey, did you just bite my elbow? Jared's here.
What up?
Hey, buddy.
Dang, these guys. What's going on, bud?
I shot a video today, and I was talking about the action of a knife that's in one of the rare ones, and I was like, bang. Just see that action, bang, and then so in the video, then I was like, not use knives, like with a pop-up. Put a pop-up.
Somebody on one of their reviews opened up a knife and said bang, but they weren't even thinking of me, and I left a comment that I said, yeah, I'm copyrighting you.
I did the one where I was like, bang, Neve's knife, because it's
it's Neve's knife.
Bro, thank you very much for this again. This is freaking
no problem.
Awesome. I love this knife.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, man. Let me grab mine real quick.
Yeah, grab yours. It better not be your penis. And then we're going to talk about how you are wrong on how you describe knives' dimensions.
Okay, no, I'll tell you how you're wrong.
No, I'll tell you how you're wrong.
Let's go.
Okay, so when I set, this is length, this is thickness, and this is width. There is no height. It's not a person. It doesn't stand up and tell you how tall it is. Thickness, width, length. You're wrong.
In your video, you went like this and said height.
Yeah, that's how tall it is.
Right. This would be length. See, it doesn't matter if I face it this direction or this direction. It's length. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
What? No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm standing up.
Right. So I'm saying it right, because I'm saying this is length.
Yeah,
when I say height, because this is the height of the blade. How high is the blade? How high is the blade? I say the length of the blade and the height.
It's not a person. It's not. It's not. It doesn't argue with you how tall it is.
Height is just
It's width.
Like you can say how high is a building? How high is a tree? How high is the height of this knife? Anyways,
it's not. You're wrong. You're wrong. Thanks, Aiden. I'm gonna ruin this fucking thing. My wife's gonna get pissed.
Right. Next time I come on, there's gonna be dents all over it. Just fucking dented this shit. Bro, man, you must be making a lot of money from this channel.
Bro, it already is.
I guess it's a good thing, right?
Yeah. Now it already started. How do you describe grind height? I don't.
Yeah, you do.
It's the
this knife though. This knife is pretty sweet though.
It is.
It's got a good amount of belly while still having a downward facing tip for those type of cuts. And the ergos, because
having a downward facing tip is all dependent on how old you are at this point. Like, oh, never mind. I'm sorry.
I know how you are with some deep carry clips. This one's not like that.
It's not. That's what I was saying. I like
it winds up working out really good in the hand.
I
don't know if it's just because it's inset, because it is inset a little bit into the materials, but a little bit. But yeah, it winds up working out perfect in the hand.
It's not a hot spot, and it sits deep enough that I can carry it in the front part of the pocket with something at the back. Because a lot of knives, like I do understand that a lot of knives, like you wind up with that much knife sticking out of your pocket, which doesn't bother me if it's back the inseam, but if it's up the zipper, this doesn't bother me. But I do have to say, I wish that the G10 was not quite that textured, because this does catch in the pocket. Now, if it's back where I carry the knife a lot, it's not so bad. But like I don't usually carry a knife up towards the front. What's usually up towards the front is, well, I can't get to it because the cat's sitting on. No, it's right here. This is what's usually up at the front part of my pocket is this.
Yeah.
And I don't pull this out as often. It's like my penis. I don't pull it out.
I think that clip after a while will start breaking in, because it does have a decent amount of tension.
Yeah.
So I think that you could also just yank on it a little bit. But like this clip right here, this is not a deep carry clip at all. But kind of like this is just it's a rake knife.
I was getting ready to say it looks like a rake, because the rake has that.
Yeah, it is a rake. But
they have those really low profile pocket clips on the rakes.
The thinness of this handle is so thin that if it had a deep carry clip, I can guarantee right now it would be so uncomfortable. But since it's not, and it's not a deep carry clip, it winds up I cannot feel the clip. I mean, nothing at all, which winds up feeling amazing in the hand when you're so used to feeling a clip, and then you get a knife in the hand and you're like, I can't feel the clip at all. Man, this is so much better.
I hadn't used my C snake in a while. When Nico was here, we had to move a cupboard, and it had a piece on the back that was glued to the, that piece of like on a set of shelves, you had the piece that goes in the back, and it's basically just glorified cardboard. It's that thin particle board. And I didn't want to just break it off. So I was like, well, fuck it. I'll just cut it. And I had my
Luan. That's what it is. Luan.
And I was cutting it, and I was cutting it so we could just break it off nice and clean.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I forgot how good that fixed blade feels, because it doesn't have a pocket clip. I hadn't carried it in a while. I hadn't done anything, because I've been carrying, like I said, you sent me enough stuff. I've been carrying stuff all day. I set an alarm for myself when I can actually start carrying the things I want to carry. Like, would you cat? Like come 5 p.m. I have an alarm on my phone every day at 5 p.m. that tells me, okay, you can take out what's in your pocket and put in your stuff that you want to carry.
I do almost the exact same thing. So like when I go to work, I literally bring knives I'm testing, because unless if it's like somebody's knife and it's like something they really care about, but I usually bring knives I'm testing because I know I'm going to be doing all kinds of cutting and EDC stuff. But then when I get home, I'll sometimes switch to another knife I'm testing, or I'll switch to one of my own. But yeah, I'm constantly recycling knives from the pocket, which makes it to where I can never and somebody else said this a long time ago. They were running a channel and they said they missed a time when they got used to a knife, and it was the same knife every day. They took it out of their pocket. They knew exactly how it was going to cut, how it was going to carry, how it was going to feel in the hand. And so then they said, okay, for a month straight, I'm not touching or carrying anything else but this knife. And I understood that when they said that, I understood that. Well, you do kind of miss that getting to like that old feeling of a knife.
If you guys wonder why it takes so long to see like a knife, like the TRM Atom, I shot that first impressions a while ago. You guys literally just saw it not long ago, but I shot that a while ago. I've been carrying it. And the fact is, until I shoot the final video like that, you'll hear me say it. Like there's some knives like that TRM Atom. It's going to suck. I know I need to shoot the final video, but I'm kind of putting it off. I'm going to do some other first impressions. And I have some stuff that came in from Russell at Artisan. But the fact is that I want to carry that longer, and I'm going to have to send it. But I will carry that exclusively from like when I wake up till like 5 p.m. in my pocket, unless it's something like the TRM Atom I can carry with this, because I love carrying my Norseman. That's why I got one.
Yeah.
And it almost sucks sometimes doing a review channel, because you don't get to carry what you want. You kind of have to carry to be able,
if you're doing it honestly.
Yeah.
And I usually try to get about 5 to 7 days of carry on a knife that I'm reviewing if possible. So, and I might not do that 7 days in a row. I might do it for 2 days here and then switch to another one and then go back, which I know isn't probably the best way to do it, but I have to consider that like I'm not doing that video tomorrow, right? I'm doing this video tomorrow. So I'm going to carry this one today and make sure I update all the things in my mind about it. But I feel like I get more of an honest review that way, where I'm not just taking it out, looking at it.
For a second. I got to turn this fan. I'm sweating.
No, go ahead. But it makes it to where and I'm talking to you guys, obviously, it makes to where I feel a little bit more honest about my review, because I personally, as a knife reviewer, I can see when somebody is literally taking the knife out of the package and only reading off what they see. I can 100% tell. It's just like when I have a knife and I've used it for 3 weeks or something, or I did a full review, and then I hear somebody complaining about something that's not even a thing, or not complaining about something, and it's like, dude, if you actually carried this, you would say something about that.
Yeah,
and I don't want that.
Have you ever seen their stuff I complain about in the first impressions? And then later I'm like, I thought this was going to be a problem. I forget which one it was. It wasn't too long ago. I had one. I was like, I thought this was going to be maybe be a showstopper. Like, I'm not really going to be able to. And then, it was the Elementum button lock.
Yeah. I do remember that.
I don't want, but the knife itself, the blade and everything, the exception to the lock, was amazing. It was just one of those ones that I'm like, I just can't not do it. The sheepdog pocket clip was kind of an issue for me, because not the sheepdog, the deviant pocket clip. I didn't take it apart to tighten it up, but it's like, it's not just wiggly, like it moves and stays and then moves. I think it's got when you get it, I think one of the screws is loose. You may want to take it apart and look at it.
I'm going to send you the new sheepdog, the big one. I think you're going to like this one better than the old one.
The one you sent me, I didn't dislike the knife. It was kind of like that alien knife. There was nothing wrong with the knife.
But I'm telling you though, this one is weird. So much different. So much different. I think night and day difference. Because even the way you hold it, remember before with the other one, the flipper tab pushed you down in the grip. This one doesn't have flipper tab.
Like that's what it was. Yeah.
So this is just going to be so much different, and it's very popular. People really like it, and because like people with larger hands, it's a larger knife while being such a good slicer, man. It is such a good slicer. The geometry is just on point. So yeah, I'm going to send that. And if you don't like it, you don't like it, obviously, but at least you can check it out, because I know a lot of people do like it. So at least people can see what your opinion is on it.
You want to see something? This is one that a lot of you guys, I just want to see if anyone can call out and tell me what knife this is. Just by looking at it, just tell me what knife this is.
I ain't got a clue.
Just by looking at it. Hi, Miss Neves.
Hi, I want to do the game. I want to look at the knife.
It's probably a custom.
It's not a custom, but it's close to it.
It's a mid-tech.
Yeah, it is. I will give you a hint. It is a Ferrum Forge, but it's one that not many people have ever gotten to see.
One that there's only 50 of?
40.
40.
40. This is number 11. It's along the lines of my number 11 of 100.
Wow.
This is along the lines of my number 11 of 100 Ferrum Forges. But that's not mine. So
what was that one?
This is this is the Pretium. I refinished everything. I did all the refinish on this black ceramic.
Beautiful. That looks so good.
Do you want me to send this? You just got to promise not like it can't get lost, because this was a gift from Elliot.
No, don't even worry about it. I don't want nothing to happen to it.
But all rock pattern.
That thing looks sweet, man.
Hand rock pattern on the scales. And
what'd you say the name of it was?
This is the Pretium.
Pretium.
It's the first mid-tech like in-house build that Elliot did. As a matter of fact, this was an all in-house. The only thing he had done mid-tech style was the blades. Even though he did his own heat treat. This was when he had a mill. He had a CNC mill in his shop. He made these in his shop himself. So this was that.
Guess this. Don't mind that mark.
Is that a Boker?
Nope, but you're kind of close.
Isn't that a? Oh, I know what that is.
Is that the extreme ratio?
No, it's the drop forged Hunter, cold steel. It's 52-100 steel, and it's one solid
Yeah, I was gonna say, is
piece.
this all steel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not
It's
as
a
heavy
wrench.
as you expect either.
It's
Without
just,
it
it's,
turning out.
it's just a wrench. They put a wrench in a press while it was hot and just pounded it out.
Yes, they did.
See you later,
But-
Mike.
Later.
But it's pretty cool. I personally, this thin of metal, it's just too thin for me to want to hammer down on. But if it was wrapped, man, this thing would be really sweet.
I'm working on a collaboration that's going to be an OEM project of a knife that's kind of like that. It's one piece construction. There's a slot milled in the grip, in the handle.
Yeah.
And it's going to come with cord to
That's what that's missing.
wrap it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's milled down the middle. I'm doing that with Jeff over at Jeff Kirkham from Ready Man Group. So we're trying to get that done. I'm just trying to get the company to answer me the goddamn questions I keep asking them about. What's the price per unit, and what's this, and what's the MOQ? All the things that you need to know. Like, I can't fly into it blind. So,
right.
So
Cue Ball just said need to have different locks. I like collecting different locks and deployment types. What do you think about? Because I'm like that too. I kind of like having different locks. I think they're fun. I enjoy having different systems and different things.
I do if they're functional, like if they're good.
Definitely,
like that sliding bar lock that's basically the Axis lock that's on the TRM. Way better than the Axis lock that's on an actual Benchmade.
It is so much better. Right?
So much better.
So much better. And
so
that was one thing I noticed right away with them.
I'm not a fan of the Axis lock, but I am basically the same fucking lock.
Is it
by
the
a different
studs though?
No,
is it the studs?
It's just the way.
What bothers you about? Sorry,
like the Benchmade just feels mushy. It definitely just feels mushy. There's a lot more like positive tension, not just back and forth, like positive contact with the blade for the entire travel of that on that TRM that you don't get on the Benchmade. It's not it's not the Axis lock Omega springs. It's none of that.
No, I think it's the bar and the geometry, the way the bar moves up and down, the geometry, because the TRM, you can tell it gets into a place where it's nice, tight, locked up. Some of the Benchmades, man, you'll feel that there's still play a little bit, and it's like
my 940 has got play in it. I like a good button lock, but I don't necessarily like just a button lock like what's on the Elementum. I like something that's maybe got a flipper like what's on that that big beastly Pit Boss 2, that ADV.
Yeah.
And the other thing is I like a lot of spring tension on the lock for a button lock.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want a soft
button
lock.
You know what's funny about that is the one I sent you, the button is a lot different than the one I have. The tension, like my button, like on the other one, is so much more tension. They have actually 3 new models coming that actually have multiple deployments and their button locks. They look like solid choices. They won't be out till I think December.
No one's going to get the props for knowing what knife this is. No one's going to get the props.
Nobody knows that knife, man.
It's
one of those
unicorns. This is the Ferrum Forge Gavco Furco. It was the first collaboration they did. FER from Ferrum Forge, KO from Gavco, Furco. Oh, well, Somnion, that's not fair. I told you about that earlier. I'm not.
You know what, man? It would be so awesome if they did did one that's a production version, because that's a damn good looking knife.
It is. It's so comfortable. Just the.
Can you use that fuller? Can you use that fuller when you flick it? Like
I can't. No, because here's the thing. This is one of Elliot built this, so the lock bar tension on this is insane. Like there's a lot of people that would not be able to. Like if you don't have strong, like it's difficult for me. Like I really have to fight with it. But so I have currently at my house all 3. The others. I have all 3 of the Ferrum Forge and Gavco collabs. I have all 3 at the house right now. 2 of them are mine. One of them is a Nico's. So
that's
just a little bit.
Oh, this was that Ray Laconico, that new Ray Laconico Wii knife I was talking about.
Yeah.
Man, it's sweet. It's got the orange peeled finish, so you know it's nice and tough and like scratch proof. 20 CV, flat ground, but the geometry's good. Action is very smooth. The detent isn't really strong, but you like it though. Like it's I mean, obviously easy to flick, but it almost feels like it's on washers, but it's on bearings. I mean, stupid smooth.
But okay, I have to answer this. Duke, you're wrong, because that is not what it is. It's not FIRCO. It's FERKO. FER.
What's that mean?
Aaron Forge. FERKO. Furco, not first collaboration. FERKO.
Gotcha.
It's because they didn't know they were going to do more. Would you get off of me? It's FERKO. Here, allow me to do it for you, so you can see FERKO. Furco.
Knife with the music box sound when opening. Is that the knife with the... Oh, yes. This one does have a really nice sound opening and closing.
Have a nice ting to it.
Well, not just like a ting, like it's like on the closing, it just has like a nice little thunk. And then the opening, you can hear the lock crack. I like that. I like that. Really
and
like...
You know what? I said this, Jim Skelton put up a post and he goes, all right, I'm going to say it. Fuck the internet. I don't care what you say, just because like, I have to agree with you just because that's the way it is. I have to like what you like. He and I both agree. We both hate front flippers. Like I hate front flippers, but I can get by it if it has a thumb stud. Like if there's some option.
Yeah. That's the way this one is. Yeah.
So like, I was talking with, Will Booze at Booze Blades about the smoke when he first did the production run. And I had gotten one in and he and I talked back and forth. I was like, I just wish that you had put an actual fucking flipper tab on it, because the smoke was so small that I couldn't do the front flipper and I couldn't do the finger aperture. And I was like, I have to two-hand it. I mean, for me, it's a great looking knife. It's a great knife overall. Cuts really well. And but just for me, like if you're not going to make a larger version or a liner lock version, because what happens is I wind up putting so much tension trying to get to the lock bar on a front flipper that I'm squeezing in a lock. I can't pull it.
That one's really thin too.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. It's just too small.
Yeah, literally the whole knife is just like, it's skinny, it's thin, it's tiny.
Yeah.
For somebody with big hands, it is a little more difficult. Check this little thing out.
One's that? That's not little.
It's a new one. Just came out, just dropped. This is the Valona. I think it's pronounced Valona by Migaron Knives. It does come in 2 different colors. The non-coated blade.
Valona was a
I think it
was an Ace Knives.
Not
Valona was a Lona was
it's Valona, but it's the Migaron Valona.
Valona. Okay, I got you.
It's got a flipper and then it's got a fuller down the side right here on both sides that is nice and deep, so you can get a good flick to it. But yeah, it is a large knife, milled titanium pocket clip. Now, this is what's interesting about it. The steel is give me 1 second. Let me grab this other one.
Kira's gonna get mad at him. The steel is Bologna.
So I don't know if you ever heard of this steel, but it's DC53. And
I've heard of it, but I've never used it.
This is my first time as well. It's supposedly basically a D2, but it's a harder D2. And like when I read about it, it's supposed to be a little bit easier to heat treat. It's harder. So it's basically like a harder version of a D2. So it's supposed to be a better version of D2, but you know, I don't know. I haven't tested or anything yet, but I got both of these in, or actually 3 models in with the DC53, but it sounds kind of interesting when I was looking up the steel, like, you know, because I mean, D2 has, when done right, it has great edge retention when it's done right.
We were talking about that earlier. I said I've never had bad D2. I just don't like it because it rusts.
Well,
I mean,
but like, so
really rusts, not just oxidizes. Like I can get it to where like there's almost a hole in the blade.
So the problem with D2, like with, and I'm talking about like not talking about like from USA companies or reputable companies, but when you go across the board with all the companies, think about it, there's so many companies coming out with D2 for $20, D2 for $23, D2 for $30, and it's just like D2, D2, D2. Well, a lot of these companies, they don't give a fuck about the heat treat because they're just selling a knife. Like, it's not like, say, Artisan, who actually cares about their brand. Or
you're talking about companies like
exactly
this.
Right. But there's so many of them. So when tested, right, and even with some that were somewhat reputable, they weren't getting any better edge retention than HCR. Well, then some were getting like D2 edge retention, S30V edge retention, because D2 is supposed to be like S30V edge retention, but it's just, it was across the board like wishy-washy, and a large portion of them were getting edge retention like 8CR, 9CR edge retention, but it was just because of that though, because like supposedly heat treating D2 in massive batches, it doesn't do good. It's kind of like M390 where you got to get it right. Like, you can't just, like, 14C28N was made to heat treat on a conveyor belt. So think about how easy it is. It's so easy, right? It's made for production.
Somebody say hi to my wife.
Hey.
So amazing.
So amazing.
Hello,
and any woman that stayed married to me for 19 years has got to be amazing. So I wanted to address this. 2A Dave, it's a stainless D2. There is no such thing. When people start throwing that around, well, it's a stainless version of this. We've talked about this. The chemistry of steels, even if they're slightly different, you're comparing apples and watermelons. You're not comparing anything. So just so that I don't get upset when you do, don't say that.
Like I even find the same thing. I even find the same thing with 154 CM and CPM 154. Night and day difference.
Well, it's because of the grain structure. When you get that,
I know, but I'm just saying, same steel, just the grain structure's changed, just that. And it's like, I don't like CPM 154, but I love 154 CM.
I forgot how much I liked N690. I've got a couple knives in N690, and it's a good steel.
Yeah, it is. The only thing is that you have Italian companies fucking trying to sell it for like $500, like crazy money.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I've had a couple really expensive knives in N690, and the heat treat they do on them is insane.
Okay,
Dave,
I haven't had any of them, so I can't say that.
I understand that, Dave. I know you say you're not just making it up; you're seeing it on the web and all that. But so the thing I wanted to remind you is, these people that say things like this are also the same people that Knife Nuts Dave just called out, saying that. Talking about specific things, and then saying that Brian Nadeau loves, I can't remember, with W2 steel. Like, he does all these other steels, but loves when a shipment of W2 comes in, and he's like, the total number of Nadeau knives ever made in W2, 0. So the people that write these things for some of these companies, they have no fucking clue. It's guys like Knife. It's like the knife steel nerds and guys like Brian Nadeau and guys like Super Steel Steve and guys like that really get into it. Those are the guys they should be reaching out to write those articles, because I've seen so many articles written online and I look at it and was like, well, that's just complete bullshit. Like that's not even close to being correct.
Yeah. And that's also why Laren Thomas started writing stuff, was the exact reason, because he's like, what are they talking about? Like, and he's a fucking genius. He's got a PhD in it. Like, he understands it very thoroughly. So, and even like me, like talking, like I would probably sound stupid to him because he understands it on another level. Like, he understands it on a level that
I've heard him
I'll never reach.
Here's the thing. He's one of those guys that you could talk to about it and still have a conversation, because he's one of those guys that can explain it. He can explain it really. He's like Elliot. Elliot's a fucking genius, like a certified genius. Has taught himself all this stuff. Cliff Stamp was a metallurgist, like a scientist type of metallurgist, and would ask Elliot questions, because in theory and in practice, it's two different. Like people telling me that, oh, look at the spec sheet, S90V should be harder to sharpen. That's great. The spec sheet can say one thing. In practice, I know for a fact it's easier for me to sharpen S90V than it is for me to sharpen S30V. And you can tell me all
I
day.
say that all the time. I say that stuff all the time, like with so many things. Like even when they take certain steels and they say, oh, well, the makeup of the steel shows that it's not going to be as good as this steel. And I'm thinking, this steel is way better than this steel. Like, you know, with edge retention, sharpening, all this stuff.
Speed bag? Are you hitting the fuzzy speed bag?
Yeah, that's right. I get down. That's what I got it here for. Every time I get mad at Kara, I just fucking punch my mic.
That's why I have a dog. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I know.
Guys, you would never hit my dog.
Demon. Yeah, extreme ratio, Aiden. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Those extreme ratio knives. I'm sure they're great knives. I'm sure they are. But holy cow, are they charging a crazy amount for N690? I like N690. No issues with N690. You guys know I like N690. But there is a level of which I love 14C, and I would never pay a certain amount for. Well, I don't know. I'm a little crazy, but
the extreme ratio ones were the ones I was talking about. I had somebody send me, and I mean, it was a great. That heat treat was insane on. Mm-hmm. Like I was like, oh my god. And I told him, I was like, be careful.
I've never had one.
It's way up on the Rockwell. I was like, it might be chippy. And he called back. He texted me back. He goes, no, it held up great. I like the N690 CO. It takes a completely N690 takes a really good edge. That N690 CO, completely different animal. It takes a nasty aggressive edge. Like really? N690 is a lot like N690. When you get it up too high, it starts to slick up a little bit. If you're not using like the fucking diamond stones or like my water stones that I use, like the traditional ones. If you're doing N690 CO, even up at like 8,000 grit, nasty, aggressive, almost like 14C.
Right.
And that's just
it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, like with some steels where that little number, or a couple numbers, I should say, you know, between different companies, like say a company that's running it slightly soft versus a company that's running it good, how much it can change, like just night and day. And you can really feel it on the stones. But I do think there are some of these companies that, since they've been doing certain steels for a while, like say I always use and Civivi as an example. They're doing their steels really damn good. Like I'm always impressed with their steels.
I don't know who does the heat treat. So
I don't either.
And Civivi and Riat, and I've had a couple of knives from the Artisan guys in S35 VN. Night and day from like I like some other companies' knives, but I'm not a fan of their S35 VN. And even as much as I love my Sebenza, I wish that it had the same heat treat. Like it's not that much harder to sharpen than my Sebenza. It's not that much harder to sharpen my Wii knives in S35 VN. But they hold so much better, and they take a completely different edge. There's so much
different
more
edge, right? Yeah. And that's so weird how like you'll take say 5 of the exact same steels, but you'll just get that one company where it's like, man, you know, like I don't even like this steel, but damn it, I like this stuff. You know, just because of the way it sharpens, the way it holds the edge, everything.
Well, you know how you and I were talking about not taking 20 or S35 VN above like 1,000 grit. This is one of those exceptions. Look at the edge on this.
Yeah.
And this is still aggressive. And this is Wii Knife Company S35 VN. And it is still aggressive. And I think this is an 8,000 grit edge.
Oh, hi.
5 or 8. I think it's an 8,000 grit edge.
Yeah. I've gotten lucky a few times too, where there was some that it just kept going.
I forgot. What's going on, Sexy? I was supposed to ask you that.
Me?
Yeah. Grateful Pen. Did you hit your hour mark that you needed to hit last night with your ultra long live feed that you did? Just out of curiosity. I was a sinister. Yeah, Duke. CRK doesn't go as hard. It's not that it's tougher. It's just easier it's a lot easier to maintain. It really is easier to maintain. Like you can definitely I can definitely strop my Sebenza a lot easier than I can strop this.
Yeah. Well, they wanted, I think they even made or said it like that they wanted a steel or heat treat to be able to be, maintainable in the field. They didn't want to make something to where you needed anything extravagant in the field. You could tune it up on
that's
any
exactly what I
stone.
said. And they run it a little harder now than they used to. But I mean, I don't have a problem. Mine holds an edge. Mine holds an edge almost as well as the stuff coming out of wheat, just not quite. Like you can definitely feel that it kind of drops off a little quicker. But what I find is the edge being more aggressive on that heat treat than it is on this, which that goes back to, like we talked about, like the reason that some steels at a lower temperature heat treat are much more corrosive resistant, because there's more chromium that comes to the surface as an oxide versus being dissolved in making carbides, which is why I guarantee that S35VN from WE Knife Company is more aggressive, because it's formed more carbides. There's more chromium in the steel itself than at the surface to prevent the corrosion.
Yeah.
But you can't argue that this is not a good knife. I love my Spender.
Fuck no. And
I
love this Spender.
I don't even have little girly thumbs, so the thumb studs don't bother me. Like,
I switched them. I definitely switched them. I got used to it, but then I seen some available, and I was like, fuck it, man, I might as well switch, because that was the one thing, because I love the knife, and it was the one thing that I wanted to change. Now, man, it's because the new thumb studs, they're so comfortable. And I like those, even on other knives, like certain knives, like, I want a comfortable thumb stud.
I've thought about it, but I like the overall look of it. And that's why I just haven't changed my, and the fact is, like I said,
that's what kept me for a while.
If you come in under it, like I don't put my thumb on the thumb stud, technically. My thumb is on the blade.
It goes behind it, right?
Yeah, it goes
right
behind it. Like if you look, my thumb is on the blade, not really on the thumb stud. Yeah.
See, my new one, you can go right on top of the thumb stud, and it's good. But the one good thing is that the thumb stud I did get is titanium, so I can anodize it and match it if I want to.
Ken asked, what one did you go with?
I got mine off of Etsy. So you go on Etsy and you just look up. What's that?
There's a lot of little shops that on Etsy for stuff like that these days.
Good ones too, really good.
There's a guy that was making custom leather sheaths for my sea snake, and I was like, that's got to be a popular model. If the guy's like, that was the only thing on his store was like, I like this knife, I'm just going to make custom leather sheaths for it. And he was selling them for like $35. And every time I went on there, he was like, I just made 6 and they already sold out. I'm like, how many of the fucking things did you sell?
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of people making a killing off of Etsy, and a lot of them are doing very professional work. Like the thumb stud I got, you can tell. I mean, this is as tight as you could get. Like when I screwed it in, but I mean, like, it's just perfect. And everything I've gotten so far off of Etsy has been perfect. Like I have no complaints from anything I've gotten off of Etsy. People have CNC machines. A lot of these are just companies or people that own their own stuff. So
a lot of these are people that had machines, like tinkerers, and then COVID put them out of work. And they're like, I mean, I have my own CNC at the house.
Right. Stay in business somehow.
Yeah. He's like, I just had, like, I've talked to a couple of people like, I had a CNC at the house that I bought. It was a little cheapo so that I could just test things, because I can't do it at work, because, even though I'm a machinist, so I got my own, so I could test things. That way I could take them a product and say, hey, look, can we run this? That way I wasn't wasting their time or product. And so basically when COVID put some of these guys out of work, they just started working from home on CNCs that they had already bought. But guys, don't forget, when I get done, Grateful Panic Knife Reviews is probably going to do a sprint to the finish live feed tonight. So
just be careful with computer parts on Etsy and Wish.
Yeah, I don't
buy computer parts.
Now, I'm probably going to open. I had done it before, and Etsy changed their policies. I had started to do a shop for the sharpening service on Etsy, and they were like, nope, you can't do it. It was too close to weapons adjacent. Well, now there's straight razor sharpening and artisanal sharpening that's done on there. And I see people are like, they're like, bro, like I've seen it. And he goes, I saw some of the, like, I sent a knife to the guy. I had a guy sent me a knife that went to an Etsy sharpener. He goes, I'm never doing it again. He's like,
don't do it.
He's like, it was cheaper than you. And he was like, and now I know why.
Right. Yeah. I would never do anything like that. I would personally just buy like parts, Omega springs, little things like scales possibly, because there are some really good clips on there. And obviously, look at the price. You know, you get what you pay for. You know, if you see something and it's fucking $2, and you're like, "Holy shit, man! I normally get those for 40." Yeah, you know what you're about to get. So,
I actually bought an engineered shower head on Etsy that the guy makes them at home. And I told him, I was like, you're giving me, and it's a money back guarantee. If you're not happy with it, he'll give you your money back. And I'm like, really? And I was looking, and he's got a lot of good reviews. People are like, yeah, he definitely stands.
That's another thing. The reviews.
He's like, mine came missing a part, and he's like, I got a hold of him, and he sent me the whole new unit just so that I could send back the always. That way I had the whole thing just in case there was. He's like, I'll send you a whole new unit. I'll check it myself. I'll send it out. You just send me back the one that you got, just so I can make sure that nothing else got missed. And I was like, all right.
Well, a lot of these guys that are on Etsy, they do not want a bad review.
No.
One bad review will fucking end their little side business. So they want to make sure their customers are happy.
Well, that's like, I get people that want to send me knives. Well, can I trust that they're like, can I trust that, like, if I send you this knife that you're gonna like not damage it, and you're gonna actually send it back to me? I was like, bro, like, I've got thousands of reviews, thousands of knives. I have like 1,200 videos up, and that means basically that's 1,200 different knives from 1,200 different people. At this point, if I was doing something shady, you'd have heard about it by now.
Yeah, right. All over the mainstream. Yeah, I've had a couple people say stuff like that to me, and like I've always said, like, listen, if you want to send me something, you don't want me to use it, just say it, right? Yeah. But I had like one person like talk to me like as if like he was worried about sending it to me, like, or like, and it's like, why are you sending it to me then?
Yeah, right.
Do not send me your fucking knife if you are talking, because seriously, like, I think you're up to something now. Is you're talking like, oh, what if you lose it? What if you? Because it's almost like you're trying to con me into saying I'll pay for it if I lose it, right? So then you can say it doesn't show up.
Like, oh, I want to send you my knife and this and that, and I want to make sure this, and like, are you willing to replace the? And I was like, nah, I'm not, because here's the thing. It sounds like you're setting me up to send me a busted, empty, damaged box, and then I'm on the hook for a fucking $300 knife. No, it's not happening. Yep. And the other one that I've had people do is go on my videos and comment, like, every one of the videos, like, oh, this is in for sharpening. I talked to the customer. He said that I could do, whatever I wanted. And they're like, well, that's bullshit. Like, that knife I wouldn't send you my knife for sharpening if you're just going to carry it and review it. I was like, bro, like, listen, I'm only responsible for what I say, not what you fucking hear.
Yeah.
Like, I can't help it that you didn't hear all of what I said. It's like my child. I was like, I heard you. I was like, yeah, you heard me, but you didn't listen.
Yeah. Different. I get weird comments like that too. I just say, okay. All right, bud.
I get
thumbs up.
I get bent about the comments sometimes.
Yeah. I try not to. I've definitely had my fair share of full-blown conversations and what I consider arguments, and then at the end of the day, it's like, why am I doing this, man? Why am I doing this? This fucking guy's probably cracking up at how much of a rise he's getting out of me.
It gets to the point now where, like, I let some stuff slide in a couple of feeds, and tonight I was like, I'm not playing anymore, and I blocked someone tonight. I'll go into the comment section if I see something, and I can just, at this point, I've had my channel a few years longer than you, so that means I've got a lot more time for a lot more comments. For sure. And so I'll go in and, like, I can tell like that, how this, like I read like the first 3 lines and I'm like, yep, I'm blocking this guy because I can see how this is going to go. I just can tell already how this is going to go.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't, like, I've had people say some really mean shit, and I personally don't care about that. I'll literally agree with them. Like, oh man, you're right. Cool. Like, I don't really care. And sometimes, like, they actually are right. Like just talking shit, something personal about me is like, yep, you're right. Like, I'm not going to fucking even argue with you about it.
Well, don't even worry about reaching out to him, because, like, at least you might get a sharp knife. You send it anyway. I have a link to my email down below for sharpening. I'm still running my summer sale.
Where is your, send them your link.
It's my email is down below. All you have to do is just email me. It's in every one of my videos or description for sharpening service, email, and then gunmonkey1974@gmail.com. What was this? So does Apostle P. I lost this. So does Apostle P, and his edges are garbage. Ken, what? He has a Etsy store at this point now? Is that what we were talking about?
I don't know if that's what he's responding
I
to.
don't know. So Sinister Knife Clips wanted to. Okay, so we are coming up on 2 hours. So when I was in Bali,
Uh-huh.
I dropped shrooms in Bali. I was still in the military. So, throwing it out there like this, like they weren't testing for that shit then. And so I was with a friend of mine and we were bouncing bar to bar. And I had eaten a whole handful of caps. Like I was flying and we're walking around. And at one point, like I'm like, cars are driving by and I was like, the tracers, I'm like, that's a long car. And I went to the bathroom and I caught a glimpse of myself and my pupils, like there was no blue. It was just all pupil. And
all pupil,
like,
yeah. Yeah, pupils are going like this.
I was like, oh my God.
Big and small.
My pupils are huge.
Yeah.
And I was watching all the lines on it was a black tile wall with white grout and I'm watching it move. So we're walking around and he's like, bro, we got to get you away from anybody that's going to know what's going on. And so we start walking around town and all of a sudden he tells the story better than I do. He's like, this crazy motherfucker. All of a sudden I see him go like this and he shoots up a flight of steps and he's like, oh, what the fuck? He's like, we run up the steps. He walks in, he's standing there. He's just standing. He's like, we're in a restaurant. And what I had heard was I could hear the silverware. Ting, 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 ting.
Yeah.
I go up there. He goes, come on, bro. We got to go. I was like, no, I just want to watch people eat. He goes, oh, fuck. I have to deal with this all night. I ran up the steps because I heard people eating and I was standing in the lobby of a second-story lobby of a restaurant. And I was like, I just want to watch people eat. And he was like, oh, fuck, man. I can tell how bad this night's going to be.
Yeah, we one time we took a bunch of shrooms and I walked in. My dad, he's in his wheelchair in the kitchen. He doesn't know yet. And when we
he's in a
walked
wheelchair?
My dad was a paraplegic.
I know, but you were saying you walked in and he didn't know yet. Like he was in a wheelchair.
No, I'm saying he was in a wheelchair, but he doesn't know we're on shrooms.
Oh,
right?
okay.
We walk in, we're on shrooms, and there's a couple girls with me, my buddies. So there's probably 5 of us all together. Anyway, so we walk in and we're all shooting for the basement because we just want to get away from him.
Just gotta get past him.
Just got to get past him, right? Well, it doesn't matter if he knows, right? But the point is if he finds out, he's fucking with us bad, right?
Yeah,
so
I know, that's what I mean.
So we literally were about to get the door and he starts yelling at one of my friends, this girl, and he's like talking shit, right? Because he doesn't know. And I said, Dad, don't fuck with her right now. I said, she's on fucking shrooms. And his face goes like this. And he literally goes, hey, come here. He wants her so bad. He gets her over there. He starts fucking talking to her like, hey, your pockets just fell on the floor. Your pockets just fell on the floor. And she's sitting there looking around. She don't know what to do. And then he instantly looks up and he's like, you see all those footprints? And he's looking up at the ceiling and shit. And she don't know what the fuck to do. And I'm like, damn it, God, what are you doing?
So we went. So my buddy took me around town, right? And I was like, bro, we got to eat something. I want to eat something, right? And I don't know why I wanted to eat. We had already eaten. And he goes, yeah, that's great. I had already eaten anyway. And he hadn't. And so because we both had, like, he was married to a Japanese chick. I was dating a Japanese chick. I'd lived in Japan for like 8 years, something like that at that time. Mm-hmm. And so we go to a Japanese restaurant. And so we're eating and I've got a glass of umeshu. And umeshu is a plum wine and it has plums in it. And I'm sitting there and he's like looking at me and I got the glass in my hand and I'm looking at it and I look at him and I look at the glass. I look at him and he goes, what's wrong? I was like, I can't drink this. And he goes, why? I was like, pretty sure there's an eyeball in my my drink. And he goes, oh, and he pulls it out and puts it in his mouth and goes like this. Ah, and I was like, I fucking hate you right now.
It was a little plum.
Yeah, it was a little plum. It was a little pickled plum.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
My grandpa was I didn't know him, but I got told this story a bunch by my dad, and he was in a nursing home, and they used to go and pick him up. And he loved shrooms and smoking reefer. So they would go get him out of the nursing home and go get him drunk, just smoked out, and feed him a bunch of mushrooms and then come rolling them back in.
Back and drop him off.
And he would have the fucking time of his life in there after that. And it got to the point to where they didn't want us or want them to take him no more. Like, listen,
because they had to deal with him when they brought him back.
Right. And you can imagine my grandfather, he wasn't, he was a treat. Let's just say that.
So, Ken, I wanted to address this. You said you had 10 knife sharpener on him and he over polishes the edges. I don't think that he's over polishing the edges. I think that he is, because I mean, I took your edges to 10,000 grit and they weren't over polished. You were impressed with them. I think that he's doing some stropping, like some additional stropping, and I think he's burnishing, like he's over stropping those edges. He's burnishing the micro serrations off to get an aesthetic look. I don't do that. I let the stones do the work. I take them to 10,000 grit. I hit them on a strop just enough to make sure I've hit any little micro burr, and that's how the edge looks. So different steels at 10,000 grit will look different due to carbide content. Sometimes you'll get a knife every once in a while. You may have seen this too, Jared. Sometimes you'll get a knife and it'll have little spots of undissolved carbides. And so no matter what you do, there's like a little cloudy spot somewhere on the knife.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times, I don't know why, but a lot of times it's where the belly starts. Have you noticed that there's like a cloudy spot either there at the tip or somewhere down near the heel? Almost like it's all like they wind up in the same place for some reason, but there's always some knives and some steels especially that you're just going to have little cloudy spots no matter how much you try to mirror polish that edge. And it's
also there's different people, right? Like say with him, when he sharpens, his level of sharpness and what he likes in an edge is probably different than like what we like, right? Like we want to feel the teeth and the bite, because
I want it to be
to me that's what cuts, right?
I want it to be terrifying. I want to not want to touch it. I want to go, ooh, I don't want to touch that, and immediately a little bit later go, well, I don't want to touch that.
Yeah, I want it to literally snag my skin when I touch it. I want it to like to grab me back. But some people want to feel it like almost slick, because to them that's fine. That's a fine edge. But to me, when I cut things, right, say if it's rope, cardboard, whatever, I want the teeth to cut, not my pressure. So it just, different people, like you said, he's probably overstropping it because he's wanting that very, very perfect mirror edge.
If
that
you're doing straight razor, that's great. You want that as fine as I strop this shit with straight razor before I send it to anyone. And the reason being is you want that, like
you don't want the teeth.
When I like, you don't want that when you're shaving. You want that as smooth as possible, and a good straight razor shave.
For sure.
Like you should barely, like I'm not gonna lie, even if I haven't, like if I've just trimmed it back and I haven't shaved in like 3 or 4 days, a good crisp edge on a straight razor right off the strop, and you've lathered up and you've softened everything. You don't even, it's not even like with, you feel the tug with like a cartridge razor. With a good straight razor, you don't even feel it. It just goes down and you're like, wow.
And there's nothing blocking the hairs from building up, so you can just keep going.
Yeah, you're like, wow, look, I'm bleeding. I didn't even feel that.
But yeah, it's different things, right? So it's like your skin and paper and cutting arm hair, that'll all show you that an edge is very sharp, but it's not going to show you the level of bite that the edge has, which is the determination of how we're going to say, yeah, this is very sharp. Because you can take an edge and say, I can't even cut myself with this thing, yet it'll go right through paper, right? But is it going to cut a rope?
You know what I use as a really good metric for that? I keep a little bit of 550 cord.
Okay.
And if it just bites right through 550 cord and doesn't slip off, that's for me, that's the kind of edge I want.
Yeah.
So
biceps, they're beach.
They're like biceps, they're beach edges.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
Is your wife going to be upset? You said 15 minutes like an hour ago.
Probably, but this thing's about to die, so I'll figure I'll just wait like 5 more minutes. It's literally telling me I'm going to die here in 2 seconds. So if I just fall off, it's not my fault.
Nice beach edges. That's a good one, John. I like that. That's a good one. Guys, like when we end, go over and check out John's channel. I'm not probably going to drop into that. I'm going to watch.
See, this to me is an edge that's not sharp at all, but you can see it'll slice right through paper clean.
Can I see that fur coat knife again, Mike?
But this to me isn't even sharp.
There's that fur coat knife. I did a video about this today, and it's part of the 5 rare So this week I already have a Fast 5 for this Friday. Next Friday is Fast 5 rare knives, and you'll see this. You see a video about this, and you'll see a video. You'll see it in the 5 rare knives.
I did that. 7 interesting knives. Fuck, man, it got like 9,000 views when I woke up. By the time I woke up in the morning, so like within like 12 hours, it's like holy shit! I couldn't believe that.
I saw that, and I was calling you all kinds of bad names because a video that I thought was going to do really well was that Kubi Raven.
Yeah.
And dude, it didn't even break 100, and I'm like, what in the actual
really?
fuck, dude?
That's crazy because it did good on my channel.
Well, I don't know.
But I'm just saying, like, I did just a review, and I'm saying it did good. The view, I mean, it did good. People, people like that knife. So it's just weird, man. Sometimes the YouTube algorithm, man, they either fucking are gonna, run your shit or not. But yeah, the multiple knife videos, people like them because sometimes there's people's I guess attention spans. They don't care about a full review on a knife. They want to see it. They want because
I wasn't listening.
Exactly. So they can look at it and say, is that my style? Yes, no, okay. And if it is, then they'll watch a little bit. But if you show them it and you're like, this, and then you already got another one, their attention span is still going. You know what I mean? Like, and then next thing you know, they start getting bored with this one, and then all of a sudden, bam. It's like a fucking magic trick to their brain.
I do it as a treat to myself because I don't have to look up any fucking specs.
I said the same thing to a lot of the followers like that.
I'm just gonna do it every Friday.
I'm
gonna do a 5 fast every Friday until I run out of knives, and then I'm gonna go back through them again and just do them all again. Because Friday, by the time I get ready to film a video for Friday, I don't want to have to fucking look up any more goddamn specs.
Yeah. Well, it does help. It does help because one, people like it, right? People like it. It's not one of those high information videos. It's one good for entertainment. And if you like the knife, you can go look it up and look up more information. But it makes it easier for us because we don't have to do as much. We can literally show you some knives. Here you go. Here's a little bit of information. Let's get to the next. You know what I mean? Like it makes it very easy for us. I like doing them. The only thing that sucks is the tag.
At first, like you kept telling me, it's like you need to do it, and I was like, I don't want to do it. You're like, you need to do it. And I was like, I'm not doing it. You're like, people like it. You'll get more views. And I'm like, all right, I'll do one. And then I was like, this isn't bad. I actually enjoyed doing it.
Right.
And it gives me a chance. The whole thing is, I got a whole bunch of knives here that I like, and I've like, well, I've already done videos about these knives, but what I forget is there's guys like 2A Dave and Jevons here, and Sonny Home and Snuzz Nuzz. These guys are all new to the channel. They haven't seen the stuff that I did 5 years ago because I've had my channel. This year is 6 years.
I got guys that literally just started following. They haven't seen any, like literally. I'll have a video and I'll personally feel like everybody has seen this knife. And it's the first time they've ever seen it in their life. Like, I mean, ever, and I'm thinking like people are sick of this knife, but if people like that are used to your channel, don't want to see
this one in a video. I showed this one in a live feed one night and there was like 12 or 13 people like, what is that? And I was like, I literally just did a video of this like a month ago. And they were like, I was like, oh, wow, really? You didn't see this? And then I like the whole the anodizing I did on it and everything.
Your perception is way different than theirs, So you just got to remember that. But it is good. It's not good because I do know a few channels. They only have 5 knives. And they actually have a full channel, and they always talk about the same 5 knives. Like they'll do a review on each one, then they'll compare them, then they'll verse them, then they'll do this with them. And they actually have a successful channel going, but it does get old. It does get old. So it's nice to have new stuff coming in.
Hey,
consistently.
Have you handled that knife yet? I have not.
No, I like it though. This knife reminds me of it. I
haven't seen it. I'll have to look it up. Uh-oh. There he went. Bye, Jared. Jared's phone died. Oops, poopsie. I left him there in case he pops back up. So Jared and I were talking about this the other day. There's channels that actually, wow, you died. I don't think you actually, he's like, I died. I don't think you actually did. there are some channels out there that their content is the same video every time. And I'm not talking about knife channels. I'm talking about just some channels. And basically they have the same video every day. And it's just a rehash. And it's I would have to, hey, guys, you make this channel possible. I want to keep reminding you guys of that. Ding, ding, ding. The fact that you guys do this is amazing. It's not even a podcast. Remember, I know there's going to be some people dropping out. What time is it? 9. We can keep going for a little bit because I don't have to do anything. Yeah, we need more cowbell. I would love to be able to ring that bell constantly. So there's the live feed tomorrow is actually a podcast with Nick Shabazz, and we're going to go early. It's going to be at 5 p.m., not 7:30. So keep an eye on that. I wanted to address the notifications issue. So I contacted Google because I am part of that test group. I have direct contact with Google. And I told them, look, I'm getting a lot of people tell me they're not getting notifications. So Friday. No, Friday. I'm sorry, Friday. I forgot today was only Wednesday. Shit, it's only Wednesday. Tomorrow I'm busy. I'm taking my daughter ice skating and stuff like that. And so I may not be in the premiere tomorrow at 4, just to give you guys a heads up. At any rate, what I was going to say was, the notifications that you guys aren't getting, YouTube told me they're sending notifications, and they said the majority of you guys have got it set up properly for your notifications. And oh crap, just to bug your wife, ding, ding, ding. All right, let's bug my. Thank you, 2A Dave. And so they said the notifications are going out. And I was like, well, people are telling me they're not getting them, or they're getting them late. And I had one person tell me, he's like, if I get them at all, I get them days late. He's like, you had a video that went up on Monday. I didn't get the notification till Wednesday. He's like, and then I went back and I realized that I didn't get a notification at all for Tuesday or that day of Wednesday. I was like, so the best that I can recommend for you guys is just set a reminder for yourself. If you really want to be in the premieres, just set a timer for yourself. My videos premiere every Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Just set yourself a little reminder somehow. I love doing the premieres. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of interaction that happens. Are you back, bud? There's a lot of interaction that happens in that live chat. I enjoy the live chat. I get frustrated when people don't show up, and it has nothing to do with money or any of those things. And it's just, I enjoy the interaction. That's why I do the premieres. That's why I'm there. I know you guys enjoy it. And it's frustrating when I put work into a video and then I put it up and I'm sitting there and I'm the only one watching the premiere. I don't need to watch videos. I watch them enough during the creation process. And I know it's not you guys' fault. I just know that the notifications are going out. So what the guy told me when I contacted him, John told me, he was like, okay, I looked at your channel, and on September 2nd, like a day like today, on September 2nd, you had 4 videos go up. And I was like, no, I had 1 video go up. I put 4 videos up that day on the channel, but I only premiered 1. There should have only been 1 notification go out. He's like, oh, there's a limited number of notifications. I'm like, once again, I only premiered 1 video. There was only 1 notification that went out. So it doesn't matter how many videos I uploaded. It shouldn't matter how many fucking videos I uploaded. It should only matter how many videos that was notification went out because of the premiere. What was that? Wait. What happened with Walt? Wait, I missed. What was this? Walt says, I would kick an donation. I'm probably going to have to help my dad replace a refrigerator and a lot of food. He damn near died of food poisoning today. Holy crap. Well, I hope everything gets better. No, I mean, you can watch them later. But what I'm saying is I enjoy the interaction in the premieres. And I don't know when it started because we had premieres with 20 and 30 people in them just a few weeks ago. And today there was 3. So 3. So I don't know, I'm trying to do a lot of stuff to change how everything's going and just to go ahead and say it. Thank you, Somniome, for helping me navigate some of the intricacies since you have such a massive channel and have already figured it out. I appreciate it. It just gets frustrating. Sometimes it just feels like you're swimming uphill, but then I look at my analytics and I can see that I'm making money. And just to give you guys a heads up, I have not decided how I feel about it. But I was approached by 2 separate companies about having sponsored videos. So that might be something that we look at doing. There may be some sponsored videos as well. But tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific, the auction and the giveaway is being done by Sierra _Bound on Instagram, to benefit the GoFundMe for Jeff over at Tough Knives. So we can run this for a while longer. This isn't a podcast. Oh, the other thing, guys, I have got to tell you there may not be the 2 episodes with Jim Skelton and Elliot Williamson for Apple Podcast. There is something wrong with those 2 files. I'm going to try it again. I deleted. Now I have to re-download the entire. That's the long thing, is I have to download the audio version of that podcast and then convert it. So I tried reconverting the files I downloaded. It didn't work. Now I'm going to have to delete what I have on my computer, re-download the audio file, then convert it again. So I'm going to try and do that tomorrow before I take my daughter skating. What is this? Is this like a group sponsorship or a single video sponsorship? I do not know yet. There's a contract. I have to review the contract. Basically, they are going to provide me with either a video to drop in as a sponsored ad, 30 to 45 seconds. Doesn't say where I have to put it, so I could always put it at the end. Or they're going to provide me with a script to do my own, like you see the guys, hey, my sponsor for today's video is such and such, and it's a script. So just to let you guys know, I'm going to do it if they offer it to me. So definitely take any sponsors you get. I know you may feel differently about supporting a product or a company that you cannot get fully behind. Both the ones that I've seen, they're editing software, and I've heard of them before. And so I'm all on board. I just want to see which one's going to pay me more because I'm a capitalist. You guys may see this in another video. I want to do a video about unusual knives. But yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. I'm glad I had food poisoning here not too long ago, and I'm not gonna lie, it's fucking miserable. I was in the bathroom with a trash can in between my knees doing the double dragon. So, and that's why I like to have the videos filmed ahead of time. Like right now, I don't have to. I could feasibly not have to film until Tuesday next week, as long as I got that video edited and posted on Tuesday, because next week's Friday video is already filmed. I like having that done so that I can just have them in the shotgun in the chamber and ready to go. Yeah, you guys remember that? Bubbly Bubble Guts? Yeah, you remember that one, huh? Can or can't, Dave? Can go wrong? But like I said, with the stuff that they're talking about, it's stuff that I've already heard about. I've already seen. They are video editing software and video and photo editing software. As a matter of fact, I used one of them here not long ago, a trial version of it. Problem I'm having right now is I can't get the software, or I can't get the contract and stuff from the one company to open. Ad money is way better. You would not believe some of the channels, what some channels can generate. It's ridiculous. I would tell you what I make per video for every 1,000 views. And it is dramatically changed since I've changed some of the things that I'm doing. Simple things that I never even thought of. That this gentleman right here pointed out to me. He's like, you're fucking up. You're doing it wrong. And so you are, if your tag section is empty, you fucked up. So what I was saying is, like, I've seen a dramatic increase in like revenue per 1,000 views. And it 100% is, I guarantee it's because things that I'm not seeing, like I'm seeing an increase of views, but I can't see where. Like I have videos that are getting a lot of views, and I think it's because I changed stuff on old videos as well. And so it brought it all up, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure where all these views are coming from. But the other one is like, I had to start incorporating shorts. I did it pretty early before everybody started saying, like, I think it was a DCA, David C. Anderson was saying something about that you have to do shorts now, or YouTube just won't push your videos. It doesn't matter what the content is. If you're not doing shorts, they won't push your content. And so I've been doing shorts for a couple months now. I want to try and do some more Shopcat. Shopcat is, I don't know if he doesn't like the IR from the camera. Like now he kind of runs away when I get the camera set up. But there's other stuff that I'm going to do shorts about, like why I carry a knife. I have one I'm going to film here in the next few days. I'm sorry. Of why I carry a knife. That one got 11,000 views. That one of me opening the kielbasa. Why do I carry a knife? Because companies lie to you, and you can't. Those pull here to peel. I guarantee every time somebody gets one of those lift here to open things, and then or a pack of like kielbasa or something, and then you pull it to open it, and it says pull here, and they're heat sealed all the way up. I guarantee there's some dude in a factory every time he makes one, he's giggling because he knows it's not going to work. Shorts. Shorts suck. Fuck TikTok, but they are now required if you want your normal videos to even be visible to your regular audience. Yeah, and I do. I've got a lot of shorts that I put up. I'm gonna do some shorts. I do shorts all the time. I do shorts of the podcast announcements. I do shorts about things like this. I'm gonna do shorts about the videos that are going. I'm gonna start doing a short every morning to announce the video that's going up at 4 p.m. I'm going to start that probably next week. In that far coast knife. I should do a video and edit and find all the comments, like go through the after and then just take snapshots and just edited them all together to make a 15-second video of all the different things that I see, and then stick it up. But yeah, it's crazy that now it's a requirement, but luckily I've been doing them for a little bit now. So, hopefully I can stay within that. I told Jared, you got to start doing, I noticed it when I just did one for fun, and I was like, oh, Shopcat. So, I was like, this will be fun. I'll just do a couple shorts about Shopcat. Who doesn't like cats? And the one of them got like 28,000 views in a day. And I was like, I put that video up and I went to bed and it had like 200 views. And I was like, holy crap, that's great. And then I wake up the next morning and I look at it. I was like, what do you mean it got 11,000 views overnight? And by the end of the day, it was like 28,000 views. And I was like, for a 15-second video about a cat, PDM shorts would be badass. Do you guys want a series of PDM shorts? Just me saying stuff as PDM. Did I just see something move behind me? I hope this house isn't haunted like the one we had in Japan. Let me know, guys. PDM shorts could be a thing. PDM in shorts could be a terrifying thing. Duke, you absolutely have my permission to ridicule my comments. I got another privacy strike, guys. I was going to tell you about this. I got a privacy strike for a video I did a while ago, and I contested it. I contested it, and it looks like it doesn't look like I'm gonna have to take the video down, but PBR shorts sounds delicious. Cheers. Ken says, I like the random live feeds during the day, but me working night shift. I want to stick to a schedule. That's one of the big things Somni told me, is sticking to consistency. That is one of the big things, being consistent. Videos up at the same day, same time every day. I try to keep the what's that infrared? I don't know what that is. It don't look, I don't see red. What you talking about? So I forget what I was going to say. I lost it. Oh, I had been doing the morning live feeds. It was never consistent, depending on what time we got done with the gym and this and that. They were fun, but being consistent and sticking to a schedule. Video premieres every day at 4, live feeds at 7:30. The podcast, I really want to do it at 7:30, but the fact is, I have guests that might not be able to be supported. Jim had a schedule that he had to stick to, because he has specific things he does every day with his family at a specific time. I'm like, that's cool. I can adjust that. But I schedule it that way, like 5 p.m. It's all Friday's podcast is already scheduled. And I got to check and make sure I did that right. Because I keep thinking it's tomorrow. I may have to change the schedule on that. But yeah, I mean, oh, I'm not doing Little Fit Double. As much as, like, I know she's cool and people like her, I can't, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I was at first, and I was like, now it's just gotten redundant. I wouldn't want, it would be just, I would have a bunch of people on here just staring at her tits. And I don't want that. So that's not what the channel's for. Wait till you start hitting 100. What am I at? I can't see. I can't see how many live feeds I get. Or how many likes I get. Here's the thing. I don't know half these people. I know who I know. Walt Gilbert. You know, the one that got me was, she was walking out in the woods in a French bikini and a knife. And I was like, no one goes in the fucking woods in a bikini. I lived in the woods. Like, I would have been so happy if women went out in the woods. But, well, I got to think. The women where I grew up, would I want to see them in a bikini? Probably not. I mean, don't get me wrong. She is attractive, and, like, she's found her niche, which is selling other people's knives with her tits, which I'm good with. I just need to send her one of mine. Remind you all right now that if you are in here, be certain to hit that like button. I need to check and see what my likes are at right now. I can't see. I have no idea how many likes I got. This was a good live feed. And tomorrow, I'm hoping tomorrow's will be better. Let's see here. Let's go to YouTube and pull up my live feed. Live. I don't know, guys. I can't look at it on here. I don't know. I don't really care, to tell you the truth. 54. That's not bad. That's pretty good. Here's the thing that I would like to remind you guys. The likes are as important as the comments. It's as important as the views. The interaction of the people on the channel. So if you're watching my videos, please just drop a like, because that's as important as sharing videos. The more likes you get, and I'm going to start doing stuff where I'm going to do like a giveaway. Like, if we hit a certain number of likes on a video, if it's a knife that I can part with, I will I will definitely start doing some flash giveaway stuff for like, hey, if this video gets a certain number of likes, we'll do this. Or if you guys like this video and you want to see more content like that, we got to hit a certain number of likes and I'll do this. It won't necessarily be a giveaway. What was this? She sure slid into Microtech's chair before Jason's chair had cooled off. Hey, I'm going to tell you something right now. If Anthony Arfione wants to hire attractive women to work in his factory, by God, it's his fucking factory. And news for in Japan, they don't hire ugly women. You go somewhere, you don't see. It's not like in the States where like everybody's like, oh, well, you have to hire this person based on their merits. No, if you're in Japan and you want to hire a chick because she's hot and looks good in a dress, you can hire her for that. And if you don't want to hire an ugly person, you don't have to hire an ugly person. So there's a lot of places you go and you talk to like women and you're like at the store and you're like, you have no idea about this job, do you? And you're like, no. But your ass looks really good in that skirt. So I keep saying it all the time. Dislikes are every bit as good as likes. They're an engagement. So this guy that goes into every one of my videos and dislikes my video because he thinks he's hurting my algorithmic flow, he's not. And I've said it 100 times. If you say you hate me, but you watch everything I do, bitch, you're still a fucking fan. Jason and I are buddies, and I talk to Jason pretty regularly. So, yeah, I gave him a dislike. And so I was like, never. And then I put the thumbs down. And I think he thought never a dislike. No, I absolutely gave him a dislike. I give him a dislike like half the time I log into his live feeds. It's like never. I never gave you a thumbs up. I gave you a thumbs down. I honestly do give Jared a lot of thumbs downs just as a joke because we both know whether you like me or don't like me, thumbs up or thumbs down, however you're interacting with my channel, the algorithm just sees an interaction. Bad comment, still a comment. Thumbs down, still a comment. Still an interaction. Thumbs up, still an interaction. It doesn't matter. It just counts. It's just tallying up how many interactions. People hate this guy. Cool. And if you don't like me, I don't fucking care. Mind over matter. I don't mind because you don't fucking matter. We're way past the 3-minute mark. I think I can get away with cursing. So, Monster Racing, Jason seems like an awesome guy. Very, very respectful guy. I'll tell you a story about that. So when we were at USN in Vegas, their son was there with them, and their boy is possibly the most respectful, nice guy I've ever met. Like, he is possibly one of the most respectful, kind young men I've ever met in my life. Refused to call me by my first name. Kept calling me Mr. Emler. And I'm like, you can call me Mike. And I went up and I told Jason and Kaylin, we were sitting there drinking. I was like, I got to tell you, because Jake walked in. I was like, he sat here and I was like, I got to tell you, you have raised the most respectful young man I've ever met in my life. Like, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, sir. No, ma'am. Polite to a fault. And I was like, and that's not just on him. I mean, that shows the kind of parenting he had. So that came from them. They were great, great dudes. Great people. I love them. My thing is going off. I earn Bitcoin every hour on the hour. You open a faucet on this app and you earn Bitcoin just by doing that hour to hour. Right now I'm earning a little bit more than normal because I had some rewards points on here. So I'm not going to get into it. It's not my place to talk about it. Jeremy, if you were to ask, I'm sure he'd tell you if you wanted to ask, but I didn't ask because, to tell you the truth, it's not my business and I don't care. I'm just happy that he's happy. Mr. Emler is your father. You're Mike, even dressed up. Yes, Mr. Emler was my father. What's this? YouTube needs to add a feature where a moderator is able to pin on a screen comment from chat. Channel owner can clear it or reset the channel without being timed out 5 seconds to spread. I would love that because I especially when I've got a guest on, I don't pay attention to the comments, or I read them and I don't post them up. I forget that I can do it. I definitely forget that I can post those things up because I haven't had the software all that long. So this is a new thing for me. So Mike Mills, is this Mikey Mills? 4 floors of horse. I believe I know this gentleman. Sass Vegas. I believe that's GM1 that I worked for a couple years on a USS Dubuque. And if it is who I think it is, that makes sense that he would say that. There's an ant on my computer screen. What was that? Was that Orchard? What was the? I can't remember the name of the street it was on. Was it Orchard? I don't remember. I drank a lot, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm retired now. I partake in the devil's lettuce. Not as often as I used to. I have not lately. Pardon me. Somnion said exactly. I don't know what he was saying exactly too. I can't remember. Was it Orchard Tower? So Orchard Tower was a place where you go in, and it was just 4 floors. It was bars. There was 4 floors of nothing but bars. And where there's bars and there's sailors, there are, how do I say this politely without getting into the whole gray area of what YouTube will allow me to say? Women of ill repute. The kind of woman that if you toss her a little change, you might be able to have a date. Let's just go with that. Women of ill repute. And don't get me wrong. I definitely was a patron of their services. I'm gonna have to be real careful how I walk this gray line of shit. So, it was one of those places where you could go and basically you'd have a few drinks and possibly be leaving with the company of a young lady that you didn't arrive with for a minor nominal fee. It's just what it was. It's what the place was. But that's also where I got this tattoo. No, not this tattoo. That one in Chicago. This one. I got this tattoo. Johnny Two Thumbs in Orchard Plaza. That's what it was. So, and I woke up with this one in Angeles City and don't remember it. Not a clue. I woke up the next morning. I was like, oh my God, what is that on my arm? It's not even flat. It's horrible. It is hideous. And it's there specifically to remind myself why you don't go to a fucking tattoo parlor when you're drunk. I have 4 tattoos. I remember one. Clearly. This one I remember in Singapore. I remember. Ish. I was pretty drunk, but I remember getting it. This one, no clue. This one, no idea. Don't even know where it came from. I woke up with it in Great Lakes. The one that is here, that is my name in the Japanese symbols. That one, I was perfectly sober, and I got it at my buddy's house. I had my own name tattooed on my chest in kanji. Polishing. What's polishing? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. That's a joke. My wife's Japanese. And so it's funny because she, well, Well, yeah, but the thing is, most of the places that I went to get tattoos, they didn't care. I got this one in a tent on the pier behind a makeshift bar and grill in the Philippines where they were cooking rat burgers. Like, they didn't care. It's President hepatitis. Actually, I don't know where I got this one. I woke up with this one. We were in Manila. Okay, so there's this. Do you guys want to hear the story of this tattoo? And then we'll end this. This is like the last of it. So, speaking of the Navy, my dad was in the Navy on a ship that brought King Tut's remains to the U.S. for exhibition. So this tattoo, story of this tattoo. All right, you ready? Here we go. So ship pulls into Manila, and it was me. And if Mike Mills is watching, he's going to know all the people I'm about to mention. Me, my cousin Chad Meadows, my buddy Mikey Schmidt, and our friend Clayton Serena. There's 4 of us. We all went out and we got a room in Manila and proceeded to drop off our bags and go out and start drinking. It's 10:30 in the morning. We got in a taxi. And I said, all right, I'm going to get the beer for the trip around town and just do all the stuff. And our friend Clayton wanted to get a tattoo. One guy wanted to get a tattoo. This is how this all started. And so I said, all right, I'm not getting a tattoo. Chad's not getting a tattoo. Mikey Schmidt's not getting a tattoo. We're going to get drunk. You can get a tattoo. And then we'll all get drunk after. So I gave the taxi driver, this guy who's just being our taxi driver, I gave him a handful of money because the exchange rate was insane. I think a beer was like 25 or 30 pesos, and it was like 75 or 80 pesos to the dollar. It was almost 100 pesos a dollar, and a beer was like a quarter. So it was like 25 pesos. It was almost a penny. So it was like 25 cents a beer, something like that. It was actually less than that. I think it was like 200 pesos to the Filipino pesos to the US dollar. And it was like 25 pesos for a beer. And I gave him a whole handful of money. And this dude comes back to the car with 2 garbage bags full of beer and puts them in the car. And we're like, what is this? And he goes, your beer. And we're like, oh, I'm going to enjoy this place. The last memory I had, the sun was still up. The last memory I had, the sun was still up. I don't remember anything else. I wake up the next morning and I'm in a hotel room and I look around and I look over and there's a lump on the bed next to me. I was like, oh my God. I don't feel good. Yeah, but this was back in the 90s, the early 90s. Somnium. This was back in the early 90s in the Philippines. And I'm laying there and I pull back the blanket and I'm like, what did I do? And I pull back the blanket because I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting that we'd all got drunk and just crashed in one room. And I pulled back and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be one of the other guys. And I pull back the blanket. And here is this female, American female. And I looked at her, I recognized it. I was like, is that midshipman Duffy? And he goes, oh yeah. He goes, yeah. He's like, I remember coming back to the room and I remember you guys just like couldn't get your clothes off fast enough. And I was like, at least I picked the hot midship. And he goes, yeah. And I was like, ow, what the? And I pull up my sleeve and I was like, and he goes, oh, yeah. Yeah. You think that's bad? Check this out. And he's like, come here, look at this. And he's sitting there at the desk in the room and he's smoking a cigarette and drinking a beer. And he's got his foot up on the table on the desk in the room. And he goes, look at this. And he has a shark tattooed on his ankle with a great big toothy grin. And it has dreadlocks and a crown, and it says "We be jammin'" on his ankle. And he goes, Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, that's incredible. And he goes, want to see something else? And he opens the curtains and I look out the window. I was like, that's not Manila. And he was like, yeah, I know. I was like, where the fuck are we? And I woke up and I was like, this doesn't look like our hotel room. And I'm like, where are we? He goes, I don't know. I was like, what day is it? And he goes, my watch says it's Tuesday. I was like, oh, good. We got like 3 days to figure out where the fuck we are and get back. And he goes, yeah. He goes, how about this? Where's Mike and Clayton? And I was like, oh, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, I don't know where we are. And he goes, yeah. He's like, and I have no fucking clue where they are. And I was like, and then all of a sudden I hear Clayton Serena's. Clayton was like 6'3", 6'4", big dude, deep voice. And he's yelling, Mike, Chad. And I was like, found him. I was like, we're good. We're good. We're good. We had went from Angela. If you can look it up on a map. We had went from Manila to Angeles City. I don't know if I can remember it. That's like an hour and a half, 2 hour drive. We stayed in Angeles City. Our stuff was in a hotel room across the island. We just bought new clothes. We just bought new clothes there in Philippines, in Angeles City, and then just grabbed our stuff. Like we're like, yep, we got to head back. Like a day later, we get in a taxi. Same taxi driver, like stayed at the hotel lobby. Like he stayed in his car, and he just was our taxi driver for the entire time we were there. Was waiting for us in the lobby, and we hung out there we hung out there for like a day and another night, the day and then that night, and then headed back to Manila and went to our original hotel and stayed there for 2 days and then went back to the ship. And I was like, that was an eventful trip. That was a good one. Man, to be able to go back and have those nights that I never am going to remember. Did we have fun last night? Look in your wallet. I hope so. I spent like $170 last night. Yes. If you're late, they just leave you there. No, we paid him like a year's worth of wages in like a week. Man, the world has changed so much the last 20 years. You couldn't do that today. So Monster, I'll tell you a story about that. They will leave without you. We were in Bali. And I had been staying at the Malasti Beach Bungalows. I started going to Bali just to relax and just hang out. I found my spot. I would go there on vacation. I would take like 2 weeks twice. I would take 2 weeks a year and go to Bali and just stay and just relax on the beach. And they would bring food and you could order food. And there were people who would come by and sell you fresh fruit right to your bungalow. Because the bungalows, the sleeping area was above and there was an open air dining area down below. And it was like literally I could throw a football into the water. So what they would do was, if the ship left, the ship has to leave. They're not gonna wait on you. So I woke up one morning and I had met some British chick. And I'm laying there. And I was like, oh, I was like, what day is it? She was like, it's Wednesday. I was like, oh, cool. I was like, wait, it's fucking Wednesday? She's like, yeah. I was like, oh shit. Fucking get in a taxi. I get down to where the ship was supposed to be, and the ship I could see the ship, but it wasn't where it was when I left. And I'm like, fuck. And I see this little fishing boat, and I saw the guy, and I was like, I had like a whole handful of fucking purple chicken money left. And I was like, handed it, and I call it purple chicken money because if you've ever been to Southeast Asia, their money is all purple and it has chickens on it. Like every country you go to, there's going to be a chicken on the money. It's not a racist thing. It's not a derogatory term. It's just a fact. And so I hand this guy whatever money I had left. I grabbed my bag and I was like, get me out there as fast as you can. And he gets me in this little flat bottom boat with a big motor flying across the water. And I could tell that my chief was mad before I even could hear him, because he's in the thing and he's yelling and he's pointing at me. And so where we were, it's called a side port. It's just an open area inside a ship. There's a little rope ladder that you have to climb up, and it's called the pilot's ladder, and it's got plastic rungs, and it's a rope ladder, and you have to climb up it. That was the pilot. The pilot came on and off, left the ship. And so we pull up, and I get up there, and my chief is pissed, and he goes, of all the people, I knew you were going to be the one that could find your fucking way back. And I was like, I made it. He goes, no, you didn't. But I mustered you as here because I figured that you would find a way to get here on time. He's like, I put my career on the line for you. And I was like, yeah. And he looked at, so the next time we did a port brief, they would do a port brief and they tell you about like, these are the things you can do. And these are things, and this is the time period. And so his port briefs were great. He goes, wear a rubber. If you get real drunk, just go to your room. Don't get in a fight. Ship leaves Wednesday. But I asked Ramler if you could please try to make it this time. And I was like, I made it last time. Like he would, like for the rest of the time he was on the ship, every time he would do the port brief for us, he's like, these are the things. Always wear a rubber. Don't do anything stupid. Don't get arrested. Wear 2 rubbers. Ship leaves Wednesday. And he'd turn and look at me and he'd be like, could you please try to remember what day the ship leaves this time? And I'm like, I got you. Come here. Come here, Crayon. You want to come up? You want to come and say hi? The puppy's out here. But yes, they absolutely will leave you there. So I missed some stuff. Purple Chicken Money. The 90s were a blast. From what I remember, I had a good time in the 90s. I definitely think that the 90s were probably the best time of my life. And there's like, so, hey, do you want to come sit on the couch? Do you want to come up? Come here. No, she doesn't want to. She's sniffing around to see where the cat went. So there's a lot of guys that talk about, oh, college was the best time of my life. That was the best 4 years. Does it count as a discharge if you get left? No. You eventually, so everybody has to know there's information to give you, the consulate, things like that. If it happens, you're responsible. You still have to get back. And so, like, my first 4 years in the Navy, I was on the USS Dubuque. It was an LPD. It was an amphibious ship. We took the Marines to the beach. And so it was so much fun. And I made lasting friends, lifelong friendships. I'm still friends with a lot of those guys from my first boat. And the fact is, like, 1992 till now, I'm still friends with these guys. And like the best friends I could have ever had. So when people talk about the best time in their lives, a lot of people talk about high school or college. Not me, man. The 4 years I spent on the USS Dubuque, if I could go back and do any part of my life all over again, that would be it. And I wanted to leave. I thought I wanted to leave. I was like, this place is hell. And I took orders to a ship right across the harbor because that's what was available, because I didn't want to stay on the ship. It was the dumbest thing I ever did. There's a reason. We had guys that checked on board that ship as a seaman and left as a chief. We had guys that did 10 years on one ship. And it's because it was amazing. We still have reunions. The crew of that ship has reunions. We have reunions for the 1990s crew that was on that ship. It was fucking amazing. And you get that, you know, it wasn't a crew. So like on a ship, you had engineers hung out with engineers, deck department hung out with deck department, black guys hung out with black guys, white guys hung out with the Filipinos hung out. No, it wasn't like that on its ship. The crew went out. Like everyone hung out with everyone. We're like, okay, where's everyone going to be? Where's everyone going to be tonight? And you're like, well, we're going to go here and here and here, but the crew is meeting up here at like 8. So you live together, you spend all the time together, but yet when you would go out, you work together again. It was like these are the best friends I could have ever had in my life. With the exception of the friends that I've made now, like Elliot and Nico and Tino and Brian and some other guys that I've made really close friends with. You know, that's the closest I've had to that. So, my cousin is in the Navy. He lives in Japan, married a Japanese woman he met over there. Am I your cousin? Oh, so you worked at the shipyards in Pascagoula. I was on LPD-8 USS Dubuque, recently decommissioned. When I say recently, here in the last couple years, last few years, actually, it's been a few years. But yeah, I mean, I still have that lithograph up there is of my first ship. That's how much I love that place. I bought a lithograph print The cat wants you to pet her, Yuka. The cat is meowing for you to pet him. Cat is over. Meow, meow. I would go back and live in Japan if I could, monster. I can't because I can't get my meds over there. It's not one of those things that I can get support with. So, well, guys, anybody got any last holdout? Hey, look, Shop Cat. God, this mirroring thing. He was over there. I would love to go back to Japan to live. But so we told some stories, drinking some beer, telling some lies. I wish some of those were lies. There are so many things that I look back on. I'm like, I'm a fucking idiot. Like I was like, if I had a kid and he told me that he did the things that I just told you about, like half the stuff, I'd be like, I would just probably just beat him to death. Like, you're an idiot, and I need to prevent you from soiling the world with your seed. So, all right, guys, there's 28 people here. It's been 2 hours and 55 minutes. It is 10:25 at night here. I didn't even tell my daughter good night tonight. Everybody that donated money, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. My wife can get upset, but everybody, every time you heard that bell ring, Yuka, that was people giving us money. So learn to love that sound. She's going to be like, find a different way to do it. Jared, if you go back and watch this, thank you again for the gift of this knife. I really like this thing. Everybody have a good night. I love you guys. Take it easy. Remember, like I said, the GoFundMe is linked below. If you want to get in on premieres, YouTube is probably not going to send out the notifications. So your best bet is to just set an alarm on your phone or something. And don't forget about the giveaway and the auction that's going on for Jeff at Tough Thumbs. And I'm trying to get him on the channel. I just know that he's really busy. So he said something about doing the podcast. I'm like, I know you're busy right now. He's knee deep in shit water. And I really want to get this. I really want to get this GoFundMe to a level that I think is going to give him some relief for almost $10,000. So, you know, and some people are, what's in it for you? Fucking nothing. You know, Elliot does a lot of shit for me. Pay it forward. You guys paid for me to go see you guys paid for my daughter to go see her grandfather before he passed. So I'm paying it forward a little bit. So guys, I love you all. I got to get out of here. We'll just keep going forever. I will see you on Friday at 5 p.m. with the knife community's international man of mystery, Mr. Nick Shabazz. So guys, I love you all. Thanks for all the donations, and I'll see you guys later.